Hello, everybody. This is the Paper Dungeon, and this right now is Table Scraps, the show on Thursdays where we talk about our show on Mondays where we play Dungeons& and Dragons 5th edition. We've had a campaign going on for like 3 years now, and I'll be honest, it's pretty sweet. It's coming to a close.
Yeah,
Where we firmly
kind of
in the
crazy.
end game.
We're in the
Firmly
end game
there.
now.
Oh yeah. Um, Before we talk too much about the episode, just gonna blitz our plugs because who cares about them? Look, I'm here to shill, but I'm here to talk about cool stuff more than to shill most of the time. If it's a normal Monday night, nah, I'm here for the shill.
Hmm.
Um, First off, we have social media: TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. Nothing really is going on right there. Yo, sup, Handskate? Nothing's really going on too much on the social medias at the moment. We are hoping to turn that around whenever we
We're,
can.
we're, we're to give a tad bit of insight into some of the behind the scenes that are still up in the air. We're trying to close out the main campaign right now, and then
Yeah,
we're gonna take some time to revamp.
yeah. Really figure
Whatever
out what we
whatever form that
need.
takes.
Figure out how to restructure so that way we can figure out how to make things efficiently so that way things actually happen, like for example the social media. Don't check out the Facebook. Handskate is a liar. There's even less going on Facebook, plus Facebook is almost as bad as Twitter, and that's saying something.
Although Twitter doesn't actually exist anymore.
Oh, that's true. It's Twitter. No one cares that it's X now. We might talk about this later in the episode. Because man, am I a Twitter guy? That's like my jam. Um,
You are the wielder of OP Broom.
yes, that is me. Um, Other than that, we have a website, www.thepaperdungeon.com. We have a merch store. Go there, buy things before it's too late. Uh, Next up on the list of things that I say, we have a Discord. You should be on it. If you like Dungeons and Dragons and you like hanging out with people that like Dungeons and Dragons, or you like TPD, which is not the same thing, and you want to hang out with other people who like TPD, that's a great place to do so. Plus, sometimes people post recipes. Sometimes we there are a lot of people that post when they're like going live on Twitch for like other Dungeons and Dragons streams or their own personal streams. We have a great plug channel. Check things out. It's once again
We also
pretty slow,
have
right?
a fantastic backlog of
Yes,
amazing out of context quotes.
yes, we do. And we put in some bangers there recently.
Like props to people like Aaron, Grant, Handskate, Wander, Maz. Like straight up, there's a whole catalog. Like you could write an entire D&D campaign based off of our out of context quotes,
And it would be terrible,
but it would be
but it would be
hilarious.
so good. Um, yeah, we put in a couple of good ones over this past episode. Um, Other plugs, I know that they're there. Shout out to the YouTube and the podcast. They'll never see this. Um,
That's true. It's highly unlikely that the YouTube or podcast will see this, at least in the format of a podcast.
Oh, duh, probably the most important ones. If you want to support us, there's a lot of ways that you can do that. First off, just showing up, bringing a friend. That's a pretty easy way to do it. And it's completely free. Now, if you want to
We
support
have a
us,
YouTube command?
I didn't know that either. I'm not gonna lie. If you want to support us more
Grant never tells me
monetarily,
these things.
if you want to support us more monetarily, there's a lot of ways you can do that. We have a Streamlabs donation, we have a Ko-Fi, and we also have, potentially the most important one, a Patreon. Now, I'm going to be honest. I have failed y'all on the Patreon biz.
Although okay, so I'm gonna, you know what? I might just do a thing. I don't know when. Maybe I don't know when I have time. I'm gonna do a thing because I'm upset with Grant right now. I'm
I'm
gonna I'm gonna
excited.
go on record and say I'm upset with Grant.
Ooh, TPD behind the scene beef.
Behind the scene beef. I love Grant the Four so much. I also despise him.
Mm.
So unknown to all of our TPD, our Patroneers, our Dungeoneers, all the peoples, there is actually some Patreon content that we have that has not been uploaded to the Patreon for the past like 5 months. Now, the reasoning behind that, probably because we haven't been able to record anything new, and
Mm,
so it's just kind of been sitting at the back burner
yeah.
and collecting dust on its digital files. But I've told Grant multiple times, I'm like, hey, we should probably just upload that because we should do that, and he
Yeah.
hasn't done it yet. And I might just do it myself.
Yeah, Grant's a busy boy these days.
He is very busy.
He's been doing a
That
lot of
is that is
stuff.
true.
It's no
I
excuse. I'm busy and I don't do anything either.
well, see, the reality is Grant and I have already had conversations, and he's agreed with me. That would just make more sense if just one of us did like
Yeah.
the uploading for like the
Uploading
podcast and the YouTube and
Podcast,
the Patreon
YouTube,
stuff.
Patreon.
And I'm totally down to be that person. That's like kind of like that
Mm-hmm.
fits perfectly into what I want to do with my life. I just haven't done it yet because I haven't sat down with Grant and like confirmed like, hey, what are all the things that you do when you upload
What
things?
exactly is going on? We'll have to talk more about this. This is what we're talking about, the restructuring part.
Yeah, yeah.
Like figuring out, okay, some things are very inefficient that we do. And
Yeah.
they were from a good place, but they aren't as good as they could be.
We
How do we fix
yeah.
this?
Yeah, we were in a better. We were quite knowing. We didn't quite know what we wanted to do and how we wanted to do things when we first started this. Believe it or not, 3 years ago. Uh, that is crazy.
We're like a
Again.
very
3
tall
whole years.
person playing volleyball, but they've never played volleyball before.
Exactly.
So instead of knowing how to actually hit the ball, they just kind of flail their arm in the air and hit it as hard as they can. And sometimes it hits the ground.
Yeah.
And sometimes it does not. It
And
just
sometimes,
goes real far out
and
of bounds.
then by the end of the summer, they've acquired enough skill to be like, hey,
Mhm.
they actually kind of like they know what they're doing.
Yeah, but now they have to break the habits that they have had of just jumping up in the air and flailing their arms around.
That's right.
So that's where we're at. We need to stop doing some things so we can start doing better things.
Anyway,
Um,
that's all not things that you guys need to be here for to talk about.
Yeah,
But
it's
But
kinda-
it's good to hear that we
Yeah.
here at the Paper Dungeon are trying to
yeah.
improve.
And we know that things aren't as good as they could be. We're not dumb.
We're not.
We're just
We're not
trying
complete idiots.
We just need the time and energy to make it better.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Or
so,
at least we need direction for the people who do have time and energy to be able
Yeah.
to do things.
So keep an eye on the Patreon because eventually it will get better. I've got big plans, Drew. I know that I've told them to you.
Yeah.
But like
But they're still there.
when we come back for campaign 2, book 2, oh man, oh baby, you're gonna want to be
it's gonna be
there
wild.
or else you will be square because whew,
Wow.
it's gonna be toasty.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the same thing that a lot of other Dungeons and Dragons people do for their Patreon, and it's still gonna be great because classics are classics for a reason.
That's right.
That's all the plugs I want to do. I don't know if there's anything else. I don't really care.
We were still on plugs. To be honest, I didn't realize.
We've talked too long about the plugs. Now we have to talk about what we're actually here to talk about, the stream. And we missed last Table Scraps. By we, I mean me. I slept through it. I'm not ashamed.
I should, what I should have just done. I should have just done it myself.
Honestly, dude, you have free reign.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I trust you to do Table Scraps. Light them up. If I just don't respond, just start it yourself.
I'm just gonna.
Yeah. So we will be going over 2 episodes, but not always at 1:30. I aim for 1:30,
right.
I swear, but I also work on Thursdays, and sometimes at work goes until like 2. So I need to move it. Today my work got off at 11. I was like, I can't do this at 1:30. I'm way too tired. So I took a nap and then woke up because my roommate was cooking fish, conveniently 30 minutes before 3:30, which is still acceptable time for table scraps. So we got there, everybody.
Yeah, we're here now. That's all that matters.
Yeah. Weekly we try. The Nightbot table scraps command is as accurate as it can be while still being professional. So 2 episodes ago, We were coming back from a problem. We had a problem.
We did have a problem.
AKA, we had a TPK. And
Yeah,
it,
we
by the
just got
way,
murked.
spoilers, bad
Yeah,
things are happening.
yeah.
So if you
Spoilers,
don't
we
want
all died.
spoilers, too bad.
We all died, and the campaign almost ended.
Yep. Um, so we got TPK'd because we fought 3 dragons. Let it be known, we weren't wimps. We didn't go out like a bunch of losers. We fought 3 whole ancient or older dragons, and we barely died. We got
Barely.
really unlucky multiple times in a row, consistently.
Yeah. Like it actually was like it was ramping up really well for us, and
Oh yeah,
it just fell off a cliff.
oh yeah. We started off, and then we started getting steam. We're like, ho ho ho
We're
ho.
like, ooh, all right, we're getting the groove. We're doing this.
I felt like the train in the movie Spirit, which is bad because the train is the
Mm.
villain. But like
Hmm.
this is like if the train was a living creature in Spirit, Horse of the Cimarron or whatever.
Hmm.
Um, this is what I think it would feel because you're like, oh, we're making it up this big hill. Let's
Yep.
go. Starts to pick up steam, and then suddenly some upstart horse breaks free,
Yep.
and I explode.
Yep.
And that's what it felt like. It was like, oh yeah, ooh, we're in a good position now. We have like a fair
We're doing
amount of
good.
health.
We're getting there. Yeah.
We're thriving, and they're like, hey, we need everyone to make strength saves.
Yep.
The wizard, the bard, we're out of it.
Yeah.
We got
And,
nothing.
and then the 2 paladins barely.
Because sadly, paladins are not proficient in strength, which seems
Yeah.
like a strange.
Which seems like a miss.
I just would have put it in like strength and charisma.
Yeah.
Right. I guess that's what I would have done.
Well, it's because it follows the same logic as like rangers, because rangers are proficient in strength saving throws and dex saving throws instead of, the logical thing of like dex and wisdom.
Yeah. Well, and I do suppose that like the goal is to not pigeonhole them into a certain thing, but it's like but the way that Dungeons and Dragons is designed, you're kind of pigeonholed anyway.
Yeah.
Like you're not
Like,
going to just make a ranger who's really good at intelligence and charisma and
Right.
can't use dex, strength, or wisdom.
right. Exactly.
Like that's just not what you're gonna do.
And so like the nice thing when it comes to paladins though, right, is all your saving throws are actually kind of decent because of your aura protection. However, when the DC you're meeting is a 26
Yeah,
on
26 is-
everything,
that's up there.
that means that you have to roll a natural 20 all the time anyway. Because because Cather for that fight had a +8 to strength saving throws. Kiamura had a +9. Okay. Now, Cather, I went back and reviewed. Cather missed the DC by 1
Mm-hmm.
because I rolled a what did I roll? I rolled a 17 on die
Mm-hmm.
+8 to 25. Kiamura got like what did Kimura get? I think Kimura got like a 15 or something like that. Anyway, so I'm pretty sure Kimura missed it by like 2. Cather missed it by 1, which is brutal because I just dropped Bless. I was so mad
Yeah.
with myself, dude, because then in a decent likelihood, for sure Cather gets out because I
Yeah.
can't roll. I like the lowest at that point I roll on D4 is a 1, which is all I need. And Kiamura only needs a 2 or higher, so decent chance for him as well. And then if both your paladins are still free to do stuff, I mean, it's not horrible. It's not great,
And
but
you
it's
can
not
pick up the
horrible.
rest of us, and yeah,
Because then like, especially Kiamura, like he can make sure that the other people don't fall unconscious. Cather can distract the dragon, and then they can all leave. They can all get out. Cather just TPs everyone out of there. Be great.
Yeah, and I want to be clear here. Abinthy is not good at strength by any means. It is his second worst thing, which I find hilarious. I purposely made Abinthy better at strength than charisma, even though he talks so much. I just find it goofy for him. I only have.
He talks a lot. Doesn't mean he's good at talking.
Oh yeah, here's the thing. He doesn't need to lie because he only speaks the truth. And he's like, if you're not afraid, that's better for me. So if you don't believe that I've done these things, that's on you, buddy. Like,
If you don't
um,
believe me, that's not my fault.
but Abenthy himself is really good at saving throws
Uh-huh.
because I have items and abilities that are good for me when it comes to saving throws. Like,
Right.
every saving throw I have is 4 higher once. Because I have Arcane Deflection, which can give me a +4 to a saving throw.
Mm-hmm.
So that would change my strength save from a +4 to a +8.
That's
Which
not bad.
means that I only need
Except
an
you need an
18.
18 or higher.
And that's also like I have other tricks up my sleeve that can probably help with saving throws. Like I've got items and stuff that like help out my like my cloak does bonuses, my staff does bonuses. I've got all sorts of things. I also rolled one under what I needed to.
Mm-hmm.
And the worst part about it is that the only reason that that was the case was because haste had dropped the previous round. And so I didn't have a turn to take actions.
Mm-hmm.
And so I couldn't like teleport to be within range of one of the paladins and or cast a spell that like puts up a wall or anything. I got nothing.
Yeah.
Got no capabilities.
Yeah.
And so there was just like also another thing that went wrong is that like we didn't really think about it until it got to your turn, but Edward also had a turn and he just didn't do anything because no one thought that he could until you were like, well, am I just restrained? Because I have a turn that I could do.
Mm-hmm.
And if Edward would have cast like a bardic inspiration on someone, that for sure gets Cather, might get Kiamora out, might help Abenthy out, and
Right.
any one of them getting out means that we're suddenly in a much better position.
Right.
So there was just like 19 things that went wrong,
Yeah.
just barely.
Just barely. Yeah.
And then we all died. So the
then we all
big
died?
question: how do we not be dead?
Yeah. See, here's the so getting into our more recent episodes, I find it hilarious how DJ was explaining. It's like, yeah, you're like super dead. Like not even just like, oh, you're dead, but you came back. You're like super dead.
You're like
And
not
then you came
like
back.
you're not like Dungeons and Dragons dead, where like you don't come back. And then and I said it. I was like, but we came back. It gave the same vibe as like somehow Palpatine returned.
Right, exactly. Just
Oh my god. Oh crap. I don't know if I can rag on that movie anymore because that's totally just a Dungeons and Dragons plotline.
I mean,
The movie producer
no, no, no. I say you could still rag on it because even in D&D, they would do it better than how they did
that
it in
is
Star
fair.
Wars.
That is fair. But I can totally see like they're playing Dungeons and Dragons and like this is they like we're gonna have a campaign that takes place after the Empire falls, but the Empire has taken root again and are now making a comeback, and you play like a scrappy group of rebels that like fight against the new Empire, and
Right.
then like and they're like, oh, but what's the final boss? And you're talking to some dude and he's like, the Emperor's back somehow, the Emperor returned. And you're like, as a Dungeons and Dragons player, you're like, sweet, I'm gonna fight the Emperor. But as a person,
Right.
you're like, that is the laziest
That is
possible
the-
explanation.
That is the dumbest thing ever.
Like, excuse me, we already. I get that we're just going through the movies again and experiencing them in a different way. We already blew up the Death Star.
Yeah,
Like,
right. Oh my
okay, I
goodness.
guess.
Yeah, but yeah, so we died.
Yeah, we died. Also, Handskate sounds super sweet. Never been in a Star Wars game. I'd enjoy it. I'm not a big Star Wars guy.
You aren't. You really are.
I'm
You
not.
rag on Star Wars a lot.
Look, I only rag on it because people talk it up way too much for what it is.
Well, for what it is nowadays, yeah, for sure.
I think even when it started, like I get why it was so popular, but it also kind of got the Harry Potter treatment, where it's like the reason that it was popular is because it came out and there was like not really a whole lot else in its genre that you could be like jazzed about.
That's right.
Like it made sci-fi very approachable because like you could watch it and you're like, oh, this is basically like medieval knights except with
But in space.
magic, and it's in space. So it's just space fantasy. I understand that. And the people got way too pumped about it. I'm like, they're good movies. Are they that good? I I don't know if that's true. Um anyway,
Anyway,
episodes. 2
we
episodes
died.
ago, well, 3 episodes we died. 2 episodes somehow we returned. And the somehow is each one of us was individually visited by Lanantari, the kind of creation mother goddess, who I have been calling out since like day 2 of this campaign.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, this god, oh my goodness, where is she? What is she even doing? She shows up like once every couple thousand years, stops the thing that she previously messes up, and then messes up something else.
Yep.
What a punk. And she shows up and she sends us to stop the thing that she messed up, and we're probably gonna mess something else up.
Sure.
That's what we're here to do. So Lanantari visits each member of the group individually, and it's like, hey,
Yeah.
so you died, and let me tell you, if you don't want to go back, I get it, but like, it would be pretty cool if you came back. And then
It would be pretty rad if you
and then she like cried mom tears, which are like some of the worst tears that someone could cry. It's like mom tears, wife tears, old people tears.
Mm-hmm.
Children, no one cares about child tears.
Yeah,
Get out
children
of
cry
here.
all the
Kids
time.
cry up like every day. But like those 3, those cut deep. Like if you see your mom cry, you're like, oh, I don't want to see this. That's rough.
Yeah.
That's a old like a stoic old man tear. That is like one of the few things in this world that can make me cry.
Yeah.
Like you're
One
not
of the
this
few things
isn't,
that can break Aaron Club Red.
this isn't supposed to be what happens. You're like Clint Eastwood.
Mm-hmm.
That's you shouldn't be crying. Where's the good, the bad, and the ugly guy? Who's like, nah, I'm gonna need 9 coffins, and they're like, but there's only 8 people, and he's like, the last one's just insurance for myself. Like, like where's that guy? That never happened. Yeah. So she cries some mom tears, and then expends a bunch of her own personal life force to send us all back. Now I want
And send us all back with some
yeah,
sweet
with
boons.
some buffs. We level up because we met God.
Yeah, the
That's,
god.
yeah, the one, like
Yep.
the original. But those individual meetings, very good. Very, first of all, I know that we were joking about. I really like the way that DJ went about this.
Yeah, 100%.
Because he takes like having your characters return after the party has been killed is not a new thing, right? Like
Right.
it's not like no one has ever done this before.
Yeah.
The way that he did it, I really liked. Because specifically because of the way that he plans the following episodes is really interesting, and I haven't really seen a lot of groups do something like this, where they are revived, but they are revived in different locations. They have to split up and kind of deal with their own individual portion of the quests,
Right.
and then they can regroup together for like the finale.
Right.
I really like that. And just like the idea that like, hey, you died, and you will come back, but the cost to it is that like the creator of this world has to like sacrifice herself for you again.
Again.
And that's just really cool, and it also feels almost purposeful, where it's like, although DJ did not know, like, hey, we're gonna have a TPK at level like 17 or 18 or whatever,
Right.
because that did happen, now there is like almost like a reason as to why we were there and what we are doing.
Right.
So it really wraps up a lot of loose ends and does some cool
Yeah.
stuff there and provides lasting consequence for the world and its story, which is good
Right.
gameplay in my opinion. DMs, you should do things that cause your players to change the state of your world. Your world
Yeah.
should not be the same world once your players, well, like once the campaign is over.
Yeah.
Um,
To add in on that, Aaron,
yeah.
because I think you hit exactly kind of something that I love about it is like the TPK was not planned for. It was technically like it was on the table, and I
Mm-hmm.
think DJ clearly had an idea of what would happen after that if we did die. It was still he explained to us even after it happened that he still had a couple of ideas of how he wanted to take it,
Oh yeah.
but he had plans. Um, but like uh initially like he figured we would just run honestly, which I
You guys
I
have played under me too much to think that that's a possibility.
see. Here's the thing. I honestly, Drew was not on that camp. I was there I was gonna fight. However, however, if for instance, right, like most of us got like stuck in that grip, and only a couple of us
Mm-hmm.
were free, then at that point, I would shift my focus into how do we get like some of
Yeah.
us, if not all of us,
How
out.
do we save the max amount of people right now?
Right.
Um,
Regardless of that, um, so we all died, right? And honestly, these whole past two episodes, at least for me, have honestly felt like a large shift in like just the perspective of the campaign and
oh
just the
yeah.
world in general. Of like, first of all, like immediately afterwards, right? It's like, hey, the heroes of your world are gone.
Yeah.
Now what are you gonna do? And
Punk.
that like tonally is like, okay, that's really different.
Oh yeah.
Like we aren't currently the heroes of the land that everyone's hyped up. It's like, oh, we're like now we are a bunch of unknowns, honestly.
Yeah. We're
In
basically like a bunch of zombies that are really focused on killing one guy.
yeah. Well, yeah, and it's
like,
and like because like the thing that I love the most about like these next several episodes that we're gonna do, like we're all everyone's split up, right? Which is a huge deal. But like we don't even know that the other people are still alive,
yep.
per se.
The only one who knows for sure is Edward.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah, because yeah, exactly. And like, and each of us have like been given it like, hey, this is the thing. These are the next things that I want you guys to each do individually. Go do these things, and like it's like this super small, these small teams. Like so, obviously, like
Mm-hmm.
it's three teams of three, doing these different things that like are like in isolated areas that nobody else knows
Oh yeah.
anything about.
And I love NPC returns.
Oh yeah,
I'm a
yeah,
big fan
100%.
of callbacks. I love callbacks. I put them in every single thing that I do at all points in time. If I have a chance to put a callback in, I put in a callback.
Hmm.
Like I will we're going to get to campaign 2. Y'all are going to there's going to for sure be an episode titled like The Return of the Chestnut King. Like
Oh yeah, 100%.
there's going to be
Bro,
callbacks.
I hope we meet Fate's Gambit. Honestly, I
Doubtful.
I I would be here for it.
You may meet
Um,
Destiny's Gamble. Yeah, you might meet them.
yes.
Um,
Um, but and then even kind of like to your point too, like thinking a bit more in a grander sense, like even after this campaign is over, like the idea that Lantari is dead, right?
Oh yeah,
Like that's like a huge shift for like the world of Nico Mures because then it's like there is no higher up at that point
yeah.
than
It's
just
just
the
like,
main pantheon.
well, there are the things that she made, and now we've got to deal with that. Um,
and and especially too like the even just the idea that like I mean I have no idea the secrets that Edward now holds,
oh yeah.
but I have suspicions as to the secrets that Edward holds now.
So we were when we're talking about secrets that Edward holds and stuff. I do want to touch on like the individual interactions
Oh
with
yeah,
Lantari.
we yes we should
So
do that. I'm getting ahead of myself.
not at all. Cather had my favorite part about all of them is they felt exactly like how the conversation should go.
Right. 100%.
because of the characters and like their
They,
backstories and who
uh-huh.
they are as characters and
They,
stuff
they
like
all
that.
fe they all felt unique and different and made sense.
Like Catherine's was, it was like a paladin who met their god,
Right.
not necessarily their god, but a god. Like there was a
Right.
lot of reverence. There was a lot of like, oh shoot, bro, this is my god's mom.
Right.
Holy cow.
Right.
This is like all three of their moms.
Like this is a big deal.
Like this is, I go, whoa, like whoa, this is like the god of gods. Um, Abinthes was very like, look, creator of everything, including myself. I don't got time for this. I'm already upset. You
Apathy,
wimp.
apathy clearly was he responded like a wizard should.
Yeah. He's like, first of all, I'm looking you in the eyes, and I don't even know if I'm believing you. um, and Abinthy's interaction, I think, was the least interesting, which I'm super okay with, because Abinthy also has like, when it comes to Lanatari, he has the least amount of like, what's the term I'm looking for? Like, something in the game.
The skin in the game.
Skin in the game. That I'm like foot in the game. It's not foot. He
Foot
has
in
the
the
least
door.
skin in the game. Yeah, he has the least skin in the game when it comes to Lanantari, right? Like nothing about his character has anything to do with Lanantari. If she shows up, it's like, okay, I know who you are, but like, I'm not reverential, and so like, you're here.
We're just here. Yeah.
And so the hard part about that was trying to be like, how do I explain that Abinthy is not like, I hate this person, but also I don't know if I like them yet.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the main thing that I wanted to get across was how disappointed he was that like a god can just give up,
Uh-huh.
and how like he's like, that's what separates like mortals from gods, is that once you become immortal, your drive to survive is so drastically less.
Mm-hmm.
Like if a mortal was tasked with your problems, they would spend every waking moment of the day,
Right.
or they just would have already given up. So you need to make a choice. Like you don't just get to give in like a little wilting flower. Like meh, I guess I'll die. Abinthy is all for humanity, mortality. And then it gets to Edwards. I loved
I
Edwards'
loved Edwards.
interaction.
Edwards was my
Like
favorite.
yours felt exactly like it should be. Edwards felt like it had some weight, some girth to it.
Right.
It felt like motion
Yeah.
of the ocean out there with gosh dang Edwards.
I think my favorite part, just because like we've made this joke forever,
Mm-hmm.
but I love that it's coming to reality of Edward is the hero of the story,
Oh yeah.
not anyone else. Because even like with Cather, for instance, right? Like we were given a little bit of insight into Cather's mindset of the current situation of like at this point, like, well, yes, he does want to save the material plane, right? And keep the material plane
Yeah.
safe.
Like
But that's not his main driving factor. Like he explained, it's for him at this point it's personal. Like
Yeah.
he's like, I don't really care about saving the material plane. I care about killing Clovar.
Yeah.
That's what I care about.
Look, I'm a champion of death. Living things, not my business.
Right. You know?
Things being alive,
It's-
that's not my problem.
That's right. And so I find it, I love it that like then it like there's the shift of like, hey, Edward, you might not be the champion who actually like strikes the killing blow on Clovar, but you are going to be the champion that helps guide
Yeah.
us into the new era.
The pure of heart. Like you are
Right.
the one who like I can trust to do the thing that is right rather than the thing that they want.
Mhm.
Which is so Edward in theme. Like that has
Oh,
literally
100%.
been Edward from day one.
Right.
Like that has been his like motto.
Right.
And I just loved his interaction. He was very humble. He was very like, he was still Edward. He was very scared. Like he's like, look, I know you think I'm pure of heart. I am not. I run away. Like I am a coward, and I'm not that strong. I don't know who you think I am, because I'm not this. And she's like,
Hmm.
that's exactly why you are.
Right.
And it was just a wonderful interaction. And then we all wake up. We have our individual wake up scenes, and where
Yep.
we meet the rest of the crew.
I think Abathes is my favorite.
I mean, Abenthies is gonna be a time.
Yeah.
So Cather got Kiamora,
Yep.
a fan favorite,
Yep. Fan
and
favorite.
Vyson, return of your best friend slash almost stepbrother,
Brother-in-law.
brother-in-law, close enough.
Yeah.
um, Look, I'm tired.
Eddie.
But uh, and then in this past episode, that's the one that went on. That was played by, obviously you played Cather, Kiamora
Yep.
was played by Grant, and I got to play Vyson. We'll talk more about that once we finish off this episode. Abinthy is united with, let me see if I can get their names right, Miriam Azima and Lorelai.
Yep.
Which I believe, are you playing Miriam Azima?
Hmm.
And Grant is playing Lorelai, and I will be taking the role of Abinthy.
Uh-huh.
Also, Cather's task was to destroy the dragon, the king of the
Yes.
dragons, Rycorum.
Yep.
Abinthy's task is to defeat Wisteria Vale.
Yep.
And then Edward was reunited with Leshka, and
Woo,
the
our boy.
return of our boy, Tarak! Force goes
Yeah!
Tarak! The crowd cheers. I wish I had Grant's
Yeah,
applause button.
buddy.
And
I'm
so
so happy that track's back. I'm so excited.
I mean, yeah. DJ sent me a message earlier on that was like, "Hey, Aaron, I'm gonna have people playing NPCs and like returning characters and stuff. Would you be okay with playing Tarak?" And I'm like, "Would I be okay with playing Tarak? What do you? Who do you think I'm gonna
Who
have?
do
Like,
you think I am?
dog, I'm gonna have like 400 health. Like, bro,
I'm surprised you haven't made the character sheet already.
I haven't because I need to find Tarak's notebook." Because
Oh,
the
yes.
one that I'm using right now does not have Tarak's information in it. Because
Uh-huh.
I was like, nah, I'm not going to need this.
Right? Yeah.
Why would I ever need this again? Like an
you know,
idiot.
Yeah.
And so
Track's dead. Like he's super dead. So
yeah,
like,
so hopefully I don't have to go back to the last episode that Tarak was in where we leveled up, and I mentioned where my health is. Because, I don't know.
yeah.
Oh well, worst comes to worst. I don't think that Edwards will have a lot of combat in it, so probably won't
Yes.
even come to fruition anyway. But Edward's task is to journey to a forgotten temple that has been destroyed deep within the Crimson Wastes, or the Scarlet Wastes, one of the two. I can never remember which one it is. And rebuild it, because while we all got different powers, Cather got the Dominion over Life and Death. He can cast Power Word Kill once per day.
Yeah.
Abinthy got access to mana, which lets me do some messed up stuff
Yeah, dude.
with magic. And then Edward got the ability to build and destroy, where he can full on just build a whole city or tear one down. He can full on change the landscape of like a small continent. So he needs to go rebuild this temple and then head on back. It'll be great. The episode that we had this past Monday was Cather's fight with Rycorum. First off, had a lot of fun. This was a pre-recorded episode because
It was, yes.
the DJ was like busy on Monday or something like that.
Yeah, he was climbing a
climbing a
mountain over the weekend. Although
Yeah, every time.
unfortunately he didn't actually end up climbing a mountain, but
Ugh.
he was still gone. He
Okay,
he
well.
went backpacking instead.
That's all right then. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
So,
it was a blast.
As I mentioned, I got to play Vyson, and then
Yeah,
DJ was DJ Grant was gushing
Grant was playing Kiamora,
Kiamora,
and
and you were your
and I was
character
playing
as you
Cather.
always are.
It was a ton of fun. I thought that what you and Grant brought to your two characters respectively was a ton of fun. I was a little on the fence about Grant with Kiamora up until
He
partway through
just
that combat
screams. Oh
when,
man.
yeah, if you guys haven't watched it for whatever
Ugh.
reason, go back, watch the episode. We're fighting this dragon. Cather gets bloodied, which if for those of you who don't know, bloodied usually refers to when somebody's at like half
Yeah.
health or
That
about.
fourth edition terminology.
Um, and and Grant as Kiyomura just screams out. He's just like,
He just yells
yeah,
into
just,
his
just
room.
screaming.
Just
Oh my god,
so like, please
it's a
God, no.
it's hilarious. It's one of the best things ever.
Oh yeah, it was very dramatic.
That made me fall in love with Grant even more.
And Grant explained like his character choices, and
Oh yeah,
once they were explained,
Yeah.
I really do think that he got it. I think that he did it.
Yeah.
well.
yeah, I did. I agree.
And I got to play Vyson, and I accidentally made Ghost Rider.
Yeah, but it's fine.
Good enough.
Good enough. Honestly,
I
still
got to
fits.
practice a very poor Irish accent.
Yep.
And whew, I
It was
enjoy
rough.
it.
Yeah.
It felt there. It was funny because there were times where it felt so good. Like I'd have a line here and there, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, that was."
And you're just
crisp."
like, yeah, dude.
and
that
then
was great.
and then the other times, like I'll speak, and it's like, "Oh, I'm like, that's not Irish at all. What was that? Well, that was nowhere near. What am
What
I
am I
doing?
even saying?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So all around, very entertaining episode. We brutalize poor Raikkonen.
Yeah, like absolutely brutal. DJ explains
Ugh.
that in 3 hits we brought Rikorum down to where he was after like 15 in the previous fight.
Turns out, Paladins, very good appliers of damage.
Yeah, especially
I didn't see it coming.
like shocker, right? Especially when you have a paladin who can attack 3 times with haste and apply has lots of things to apply lots of extra damage.
Mm-hmm.
You have another paladin who can attack from really far away and crits on a 19 or 20 and got a crit.
And also
and then
can attack 3 times.
and can also attack. That's right, you can. Yeah.
You know what's funny is I actually missed. I had great weapon mastery, so I could have bonus action attacked as well on my critical hit, and I blew it.
Oh, that's right.
Except
yeah,
I think I killed him, so I didn't need to. But I think I got him to 0 on that crit, didn't I?
Oh yeah, when you yeah, because that was when he went down,
Yeah.
and then before the second health bar showed up.
Every time with that second health bar.
That second health bar, right? Yeah, but then of course we have a third paladin who can deal a lot of damage, but also can dish out some good healing.
Support, some good healing out there.
Yeah. So it was rad. It was a great fight. It was some really cool thematic moments in there.
Yeah, it got a little dicey when DJ cast Force Cage on me, and I was like, well, if the dragon just chooses to run, we are in a pickle.
This is rough.
But thankfully, Cather is a fast boy,
right,
and does a lot of damage.
It worked well again. Although here's something. I don't know if we'll have time for this. At some point, I do need to stock up on potions again, because I don't have any haste potions left at this point.
Yeah,
which is rough. And who knows if I would need them for Clovar, but it's still nice to have 3 attacks and an extra AC.
I mean, haste is just a very good spell.
Yeah, especially when you don't have to concentrate on it and you could just have it.
So I've got some things regarding the haste spell, because I've mentioned that Apathy obtained mana, right?
Mm-hmm.
And mana does some allows me some interesting
Are you gonna
properties.
cast mass haste?
Well, I know that's the thing. Mass haste is not nearly as busted as what I am probably gonna try to do with it.
As greater haste?
Here's the thing, right? You're thinking too small.
Mass greater haste?
What is the greatest weakness of haste?
The fact that after it finishes, then you get stunned for a round?
Uh-huh. And so, hear me out. If there just happened to be an ability. Let's just take a gander at the mana system.
Are you talking about like combining it with like a spell that just lasts for like an hour and
Because
doesn't have
because
concentration?
I can combine and change spells. I can change the spell range, the damage type, the AoE, the type of saving throw, the number of targets, the duration. Always keep concentration. So theoretically, if I were to say perhaps have a spell that's a third level, let's say glyph of warding,
Uh-huh.
that just
Sure.
says that the duration is until dispelled. And theoretically I combine that with haste.
Uh-huh.
And I just have it all the time. It's just there.
Uh-huh.
It's not even concentration, I just have that.
I will admit, Abinthy, who always has haste, is terrifying.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. And that means that I can have haste and another concentration spell going.
I mean, you could have multiple hastes going, actually.
Well, I mean, yeah, but so like I could cast haste on myself, and I could cast haste on Cather.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Pretty
It's
good.
pretty strong. And now obviously, this is me as a DM and as a player who enjoys problems. Is I would love there to be negative side effects for having 24/7 haste cast on myself, because like the in-world like fault of haste is that it puts such a tax on your body that
Right, that you
you can only keep it up for a minute, and then you still have to take like a 6-second breather where you can't
right,
do
yeah,
anything.
Yeah.
And theoretically, until dispelled, unless I dispel it myself, would mean that it would be there while I sleep. So like I would just be tensed up 24/7. And so like I love the idea that there is a potential like downside to it and stuff like that. Obviously I'll have to talk this out with DJ, but I am so excited for Shadow Money Wizard Gang about to straight up fight in a big wizard battle. By the way, yes, I'm calling the group of Abinthy, Lorelei, and Miriam Shadow Wizard Money Gang. After the band Shadow Wizard Money Gang.
I'm here for that.
Because that's what I'm here for. This is what. If we don't name the episode Shadow Wizard Money Gang, I'm gonna be upset.
I mean, hey, if I can have Team Smite Knight returns,
Yeah,
then I think
I get
you
my
can
Shadow
have,
Wizard Money Gang.
I think you can have Shadow Wizard Money Gang.
But oh boy, am I excited to do some unholy things. That
Just
also
so
means
absolute ridiculous.
that
things.
also means, Drew, that now that I don't need a special way to enter into haste, I can use gosh dang, shoot, what's the name of the spell? Ignore that. Oh geez. Oh gosh. Oh, what's the name of it? It's contingency. I can use contingency
you can
for something
else. Yeah.
I could use contingency to, like, when I drop to 0 health, cast Cure Wounds on myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
100%.
I could have an automatic shield. Theoretically, I could have, like, automatic... It, like, when...
I forget. Does contingency last past multiple, like, triggers?
Oh, it lasts for 10 days.
I
Until it
I know.
happens.
And I know, but like if for instance, right, like if for instance you had it be like, oh, when I get hit by an attack, cast the shield spell, will it do that multiple times?
No, just once. Which is
Okay.
why I have, like, the trigger word for haste and then I have to reset it. But, like, I could theoretically have it be if someone casts a spell within 10 feet of me, teleport 30 feet directly forward. Like...
and then
like,
apathy accidentally falls into a pit.
Or cast, gosh dang, Misty Step to 5 feet behind the person casting the spell.
Uh-huh.
So, like, I can just have an automatic Goku blink right? Just, I'm
Nani?
behind him like, I can literally nani, and then they explode.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like I can do some sweet stuff with contingency. Also, now that I'm 19th level, but what really matters is the 18th level. I have unlimited Misty Step. I have that forever. Because that's my second level spell that I've chosen. Because now I have something for sure that I can do as a bonus action on pretty much any of my turns. So I can do a lot of like stab, blink.
Yeah, having Misty Step as a cantrip,
pretty good. It's pretty strong.
Yeah.
I also think I think it's probably Shield, is my other cantrip. Is my first level cantrip.
Yeah.
Another pretty good one, because I had to decide between Shield and like the elemental one that like when you take elemental damage you can like absorb it.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, one of these happens much more. Like getting attacked happens every day. Taking elemental damage happens only every other day. So like I should probably take the Shield one.
Yeah.
Also, it's going to be really funny. Especially
because like for Abinthy, like that's helpful in regards to like there's lots of ways for Abinthy to like stack.
Oh yeah.
AC buffs.
And Shield is certainly one of them.
Yeah.
But yeah,
which actually means that you could make something miss you. Because like that's my problem with we're in the late game now of like you have to have an absurd AC in order to not get hit by an attack.
I also think that we have been ruined. Like you're gonna experience a different game, like with me DMing, because with DJ DMing, I don't know if his dice have a number lower than 15. So like, he's like, I have a plus, like, even if the monsters still have a plus that is the same as our plus to attack, like plus 14.
Yeah.
He's still like 28, 30.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that means that you rolled very high.
Yeah.
Very high. That's like a 16.
Yeah.
And higher. What? But when I roll,
Aaron,
I roll like 11s, and that's only like a 25. That's doable.
That's that, yeah. Well, because the thing is, well, actually, so I thought it was funny because so in the most recent episode, there was an attack made on Cather that did miss because he rolled a 20 to hit, and Cather's AC normally is a 21, and I said that, which it meant it missed. However, I forgot that it was actually higher than 21 because it was 23 because I had the haste.
Yep.
But the highest I can get my AC, if I really stack everything I can into it, is like a 27, which is pretty decent.
I mean, that's pretty much where Abinthy ends up a lot of the time.
However, as you were just explaining, when you have a DM that rolls above a 15 all the time,
it's AC just doesn't really matter.
AC does it because it's like, oh, I rolled a 37 to hit. It's just like,
and you're like,
bro.
Hold on, let me total it up. Like, what do you think I am, a blade dancer? A blade dancer could block that. They for sure could. They can find a way. But yeah, and so I'm very excited. I also am very excited for the next episode this coming Monday. Because oh man, wizard fights don't happen as much as they should in Dungeons & Dragons live play podcasts. I
think the thing that I'm most excited about when it comes to this upcoming Monday, first of all, Wizard is my favorite class. I love full spellcasters. Like, I'm so excited for campaign 2, to be able to play a full caster.
Spoilers,
right?
That's what we're here for.
That's why you come to Table Scraps.
Welcome
is to
to
hear
Scrap,
that
everybody.
campaign 2 confirmed. Drew is playing a full caster. And so playing like this. Playing a Miriam Azima, which who knows what kind of abilities like Miriam and Lorelei are gonna have.
Messed up stuff, y'all. Like I'm gonna have to put effort into my messed up stuff. Yours is just like meh.
Here's the thing that I find more amusing about it though is like Miriam and Lorelei are gonna have likely the more overpowered and a higher access to just ridiculousness than even Abinthy does at this point. However, both Grant and I are not Aaron Kleberad.
Yeah. I do have a...
Who is a madman.
and not knowing exactly what your characters do and stuff. And
Uh-huh.
so like you're gonna have to like kind of learn the ropes like while you're doing it. Meanwhile, I've
Hmm.
been playing this character for like a year,
Yeah.
and I have set combos. Now I have even more set combos because I can combine spells and do messed up stuff.
Yeah, just
And
do
I've had the time
ridiculousness.
to figure it out and stuff like that. And my favorite part is that now, for the first time ever, we actually get to see Abinthy the strongest he has ever been, because for once he's fighting against his favorite enemy. This is like the ranger finally getting to fight a beast.
Right. Uh-huh.
And where this whole time they've been like, I'm going to shoot my arrow, and then like they fight the beast and they're like, I am your god, and they like descend from the heavens. Like the Abinthy, I am so
I
pumped.
Yes. Like I said, I'm excited purely because like literally, Miriam and Lorelai, they're both going to be present. But Aaron Klebrad is going to be the true face of that session.
I'm trying. I'm aiming for it.
And I'm genuinely excited to see the chess match that is going to be DJ trying to outplay Aaron.
I am so
Meanwhile,
excited.
meanwhile, Grant and myself are just gonna be sitting there like in the sidelines, just like eating popcorn, just watching it all play out.
If you've ever seen Vinland Saga, I know that you have. This is for the audience. It's going to be like Thor's fighting Askeladd, where and trust me, I'm Askeladd in this situation. I may not win this fight, but like y'all are gonna be the people up top of the cliffs with your arrows, like just waiting for the signal.
We're just waiting.
Yeah,
We're just chilling.
I'm excited because Abinthy is not your typical wizard, which means that in this circumstance, I think I'm the tank. Like I am the one who is attempting to lock down the enemy
Uh-huh.
in like semi melee combat,
Uh-huh.
and I am jazzed because I've got 112 health, and I am ready to use all of it. This will be the most tanking I've done in like a year and a half.
Since playing track.
And I'm pumped because like Abinthy's whole goal is to fight wizards where they least want to be fought, which is like in their face.
So DJ did warn us a little bit that Wisteria is going to kind of break the rules a little
Oh,
bit.
I mean, yeah, it's Wisteria.
Which is totally valid. Like I'm the thing that I'm excited about because I just now thought about this. I'm like, oh, DJ. What probably something DJ meant by that is she's definitely gonna have legendary actions first of all, and I guarantee you one of those legendary actions is going to be to cast counterspell.
I mean, to be fair, it has to be more than a legendary action, because legendary actions can only take place at the end of people's turns.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to have to do something. But
That is
even
true.
with,
Actually, I did not think about that.
yeah. So here's the thing. This is something that we'll need to clarify beforehand. Is for this combat, we should probably run like traditional rules for reactions, because we normally go pretty loosey goosey with it when it comes to like a reaction recharges on your turn because it's easier to keep track of.
Right.
But in reality, that really messes with wizards. Like if you're a counterspell wizard, because like let's say for example, I cast a spell on my turn. You go directly after me. You counterspell on my turn. You stop my spell. On
Right.
your turn, I go to counterspell you, and you still have a counterspell because it recharged
Right,
on your
because
turn.
it's back on your turn. Yeah.
Like, admittedly, then it goes a full round, and you won't have a counterspell until it hits your turn again. But that one round can really screw with people. Like,
Right.
if that's the round where I, like, if I don't cast the big spell that causes you to use your 2 counterspells in a round, then congratulations, you've basically counterspelled me without having to spend a spell slot.
Mm-hmm.
Because I just can't cast a spell. And if I do cast it, then you still counterspell it. And so it's like, that's the reason why it recharges on the start of the round, is because for sure you can only get 1 counterspell per round. Like, you can't counterspell on someone else's turn and then also on your own turn. Like, if you want to stop someone else from doing something, you get to be stopped on your turn as well.
Right.
Um, Even then, I'm really excited because I honestly think with what Abinthy has, as much broken stuff as she might have, using mainly core rules, I think I'm actually really still very well situated. Like, I think at most she will have 6 rounds to do anything.
Uh-huh.
And then the rest of the time, and even then, it's going to be really hard for her to accomplish anything for all 6 of those turns. And I'm pumped for it. Because if she wants to approach, then I'm going to stay away. And if she wants to stay away, then I'm going to approach. And there will be no escaping Shadow Wizard Money Gang. And I'm very excited for it. I've been waiting literal years to fight a mage as Abinthy.
Yeah.
Because I made
Well, I mean,
Abinthy a long time ago.
yeah, and like one of the main reasons that you picked Abinthy as your replacement character after track is like was the reveal of the anathema being a bunch of wizards.
Being a bunch of wizards. And then we never fight a bunch of wizards.
And then we never, then we never.
We keep
fought
fighting
them
people with swords. This is terrible. So Abinthy getting to fight a wizard, as well as it's literal like multiple wizards fighting a wizard.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I love wizard fights. Wizard fights should be the like coolest thing ever. And normally they are, unless you're Gandalf.
Unless you're Gandalf.
I'm gonna say it again. Lord of the Rings wizards are lame. It's a hill I'll die on. Fight me. Name one thing.
You know, I think the thing that I find the most so the one of the most compelling things about wizards from Lord of the Rings that I found is really wizards from Lord of the Rings aren't actually wizards, they're actually clerics.
Yeah, they're like clerics and druids.
Yeah.
That's not wizard fight.
Yeah.
The Shannara series, the wizards shoot blue fire and lightning out of their hands and literally like fist fight a kraken. Like without hands. They like headbutt it. They don't actually headbutt it, but that's what it feels like. And it's rad every single time they do it. It's super cool. And they're called druids. This is
guys,
dumb.
check out the Shannara series.
It's great. And the first book you'll read and you'll go, wow, this is just Lord of the Rings, until halfway through and you go, holy cow, this is not at all Lord of the Rings. When gosh dang Alanon fist fights a kraken and you're like, yo, this is almost like that time Gandalf fought the Balrog, except way cooler because he actually uses magic. Because he's a wizard. What are we doing, Gandalf? Ooh, I can't use my magic against mortals. That's not a mortal, it's a Balrog. Don't hit it with the sword. Summon the mighty fist of God. What? I'm an astral light being. That doesn't mean that the only magic you can do is to slightly make things brighter, or to really make things brighter. What kind of baloney is this? Yes, my magic can defend against goblins. Really, Gandalf? That's what we're going with? You're not gonna summon torrents of hellfire to just kill them? You're just gonna like, stay in the bubble, everybody. Stay in the make sure you have your exit, buddy. You loser. What a punk. I could beat Gandalf in a fight. I don't care that he's like 6'8". He's old.
Well,
he's old like... and high most of the time. I could beat Gandalf in a fight. I'm gonna say.
No, that's Radagast. Radagast is the high one.
Oh no, Radagast is just the dealer. Gandalf is definitely he's hanging out with the hobbits, dude. They're toked up 24/7.
You know, that's fair.
100%. Literally, isn't Saruman like, you've been spending too much time with those, you've been smoking the weed of the hobbits far too much of whatever.
Well, he says more. It's more like he mentions how the hobbits have dulled his senses.
You've been smoking that dank Kush, Gandalf. It's too
Yeah, it's
much.
just I think actually the exact line is he says that his love of the halflings has dulled his senses. That's what it is.
I think that he says your love of the halfling like green or something like that. Find the quote. We're moving on.
Anyway, anyway, after we fight Miriam Azima, or not fight Miriam Azima, take it. Aaron, I just did it too now. After we
Dude,
fight
it's
Wisteria
tough, dude.
Vale,
Miriam sounds like a villain.
after we fight Wisteria Vale, uh, that happens, right?
Your love of the halfling's leaf.
It is the halfling's leaf.
It's
There
the
you go.
halfling's leaf,
You got me
bro.
there.
He's like, bro, you are high way too much.
Uh, but then we get to see what Edward is up to with Leshka and Tarak, which
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna call that team wholesome.
Yeah,
That's what I'm gonna call that.
team good vibes.
Team good team good vibes. That's right.
Even though we're in hell.
Even though you are in the closest thing to hell on earth.
Oh yeah, and Leshka's never been there, has he? This is gonna be Leshka's first time in the Scarlet Wastes.
Likely, yes. Unless he traveled there at some point off screen, but I don't think it's likely.
Yeah, I mean there aren't books, so he got no real
There
reason to go
aren't.
there.
That is true. I would the only reason that he would be is like potentially to do what Abenthy's dwarf friend did, where he went and like studied with the
Die?
orcs. Um,
Studied with the orcs.
yeah, like I could see Leshka being stupid enough to try that himself.
You've
Or
probably been to the mountain range.
or yeah, he would have been like to the mountain range and studied stuff there
To the
too.
Alasar dwarves.
The Alisar dwarves.
Um, yeah,
He's I would say he's definitely been to the Alisar Mountains before.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Like for sure. I mean, the dwarves have books.
Yeah, dwarves have
Therefore,
books.
probably
And
been
lots of architecture and old relics
Mhm.
and artifacts, all
there.
this stuff.
Lots of things to learn.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, I'm very excited for that episode as well. I don't know what it will entail. In the
Yeah, that's the one that we
slightest.
know the least about, really, just because we just know Edward has been charged to recover the last piece of the rod because reasons.
We don't know if there's fighting. We don't know if there's. I mean, there's going to be role play because it's us. That's what we do.
Yeah.
But like, we don't know who we're going to find, what we're going to find, how we're going to get it. Grant has also been granted. Grant has been granted. um, like additional information that the rest of us don't know.
Right. He possesses secrets.
So he has like
The last secrets of the
additional goal
campaign.
or something like that. I don't even know. And
Yes.
I
well,
talk with Grant
so
often.
yeah, like the secrets that Edward now possesses is like the reasoning why we went to recover the last piece of the rod,
Yeah.
which gives me suspicion. You know, I'm just like,
I mean, yeah.
all right.
We
You know,
can,
like
we can make
what's going on here?
some logical steps in reasoning.
And
I'm-
here's
I'm hoping that Abenthy just become, or that not Abenthy, that Edward just becomes the new mother goddess.
that's honestly that's kind of what I'm here for.
I'm
Like,
hoping.
personally what I think, based off of like inferring a few things from like Edward's and Lanatari's conversation that they had with each other, in my mind, it feels like we're like Nico, the world of Nico Miras is entering a brand new era. I think that's kind of obvious. However, this said brand new era is actually like going to be headed by Edward, and it's going to include some reshaping of the pantheon.
Mhm.
I think,
Yeah, we're gonna
and,
clove
like-
a week.
and like, well, I think in reality, like certain, you know, like the Fae, devils, demons, gods. I think some of them are going to maybe get demoted
Yeah, you better
or-
not
or-
touch my wife.
or have some sort of consequence to their involvements, good or bad, in the conflicts. And I think, who knows, right? Maybe Abenthy might get what he wants, and where the mortals get to take a little more initiative.
That
in
I'm
original
down
plane.
for. Don't touch my wife. Technically,
we'll see.
involved in this fight, the gosh dang devils aren't. Or the,
Oh my
the
goodness,
demons aren't. One of the two.
the devils.
This
Well,
is-
okay, so
Is
the demons are directly involved.
yeah.
The devils
Look,
are
they're
indirectly
watching.
involved.
They're
They
watching. They're
they like
sidelined right now.
they if I remember correctly, like Clovar approached Asmodeus is like, yo,
Hear
you
me
could
out.
help us, or at least maybe just stay out of this because this doesn't really involve you. And Asmodeus is like, shoot, you right. I'm just gonna chill.
And technically, Asmodeus has helped me, which therefore kind of puts him on the side of good for once.
That yeah,
In
that's true.
a like corporation that donates money to the poor
I
type of way.
Here's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to the campaign ends, right? We have we have like the episode where we defeat Clovar, right? And then the next episode happens where it's like the epilogue, right? Of like
Mm-hmm.
this is what happens to our characters and like this is what happens to the world for the next few years or whatever, right? I'm so excited for Edward just to be in like court hearings like with the gods and the Archfey and stuff, and he's just sitting up like on like the high
Yeah,
chair.
just like dangling his little feet over the edge of this just like giant chair. Here's the
Yeah,
thing.
meanwhile like all the gods and stuff are just in the room like, oh my god, that would be
I also
amazing.
really hope this is what my actual vote is for, because I love the idea of Edward becoming the new like master of creation or whatever.
At least for a time.
I also hope that he like doesn't, because Edward, like, I like the idea that Edward like remains humble to the point where like he does the correction things, he like trims the fat, sets things as they should be, and even if he does maintain the power, I kind of want him to like fade into the background.
Well,
And,
I
like,
mean, if I remember correctly, like Lontari told him like, yeah, you have this power for like a year and that's it.
well, yeah, and I mean that's assuming she could just be referring to the creation destruction thing. Who knows what happens when he gets that rod?
Oh
Like,
yeah, the rod. Like who knows what? Yeah,
absolutely,
that's fair.
He can restructure reality at that point.
Yeah,
And
that's
so
true.
if
He could command the beasts.
yeah, if he does like ascend to this point where he's like, I'm gonna create new things, I'm gonna destroy the old things that aren't supposed to be here. I love stories where like someone is given godlike powers, and then at the end of the book, they're like either A, they return to the way that they were, or B, everyone just thinks that they have returned to the way that they were, but they still like probably have at least some semblance of the power that they had.
Oh yeah.
But
There's
like
like the
no one
residuals
knows
of it.
Yeah, like there's this book that I read where like a kid gains the ability to fly and no one knows why, including himself. And then like he gets like there's like shows about him and everything, and it gets to way too much. And then one day he's like, "Oh shoot, I've lost the ability to fly." And then at the end of the book, he's like, he like flies off in the sky, and he's like, "No one needs to know." Like that was messed up. I love those kind of stories. If like Edward turns into this like either A, like just some guy who like tells the story of like Fate's Gambit and stuff, and like lives in a kingdom, and he's like well known and well loved as a politician and things like that, and they're like, oh, this is the hero, but like doesn't have those godly powers. Or if he like, this is what I would do, and it's so different from what Grant loves, but like I would turn into the wandering hermit type, where like I'm like, look, I have this power, I need to distance myself from mortals. Like I will still interact with the people I love, and they will know that I am there, but like I'm going to travel and continue to fix things the best that I can because I've been given this obligation.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of fade into the backgrounds, into the annals of history, as like there is a new god and he walks among us. Like I love those type of things.
I mean, if I were to guess as to what Grant would choose to do, I imagine that it would be something along the route of like he takes the time to like fix things,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like what he did with Othello, right?
Yeah.
And then he just retires.
Yep. And he's like, well, I'm out, guys. I've got a wife.
He just goes and rebuilds Gambit's Keep, and okay. Also, this is totally something that Cather's gonna do post campaign. Is he's gonna rebuild either rebuild Catan or establish some sort of new small settlement where Catan was near Gambit's Keep. Because I think it's dumb that it's just by itself, lonely on a hill.
Go for it.
And I
Now this is interesting. We really should start thinking about like what our characters do after the campaign is over.
that yeah, I see. I thought about it for a long time, and there's a few routes that it could go for Cather. Honestly, it kind of just depends on how the campaign ends. Because, like, for instance, right, especially given the fact that how many times Cather has died,
Mm-hmm.
it might just be a thing of like, okay, Cather, the world is safe now. Time for you to come and just be in the afterlife. Like, I could totally see that be a thing,
Yeah.
and like, I don't really get a choice in the matter, and I would be totally okay with that. Like,
You shall be
Cather's
called upon if the world needs you once more.
right. It's kind of, well, in my mind, it's going back to Lord of the Rings and Gandalf, right? Like when Gandalf comes back to the land of the living, like he was sent there. He's like, I've been sent back to complete my task, and I will leave once again once it is finished, right? Like that kind
Mm-hmm.
of thing.
Man,
And
what a
so like,
loser.
right. And so I could definitely see that happening for Cather. However, that's not exactly the ending I want for Cather, but it's definitely an ending I think could happen for
Yeah.
Cather, and I would be okay with. The ending I prefer for Cather would likely be, honestly, he would probably stick he would travel a lot, but he would probably stick pretty close to like priest he would go back home and stick near home for a long time and kind of just doing his thing, doing some light adventuring, I would say.
I mean, yeah, you're
Um,
still like
he's still the
champion of
champion
fate,
of death.
like,
Yeah, exactly. So like there's still things that he would be doing.
but like
But like
fate needs a break, okay?
but yeah, but like he would definitely like go home and relax a lot and kind of be with his family, and also probably just spend as much time as he can like in Athala, like with Edward, for instance, and helping him, and also helping to rebuild like Gambit's Keep, and kind of building like that, you know, like I said, like building like a settlement back over there. Like those are the kind of things that I imagine for Catherine. Like, you know, yeah. Anyway, who knows? We'll find out when we get there.
I
We have like a month and a half left.
I have things that I think I mean, I know goals that Abinthy will attempt to achieve, not necessarily the routes that Abinthy will move to achieve them.
Uh-huh.
Like, Abinthy needs to obtain some form of immortality.
Uh-huh.
Because that's Abinthy's thing. Is he's an absolute hypocrite, and he doesn't like immortals. But at the
Hmm.
same time, there is an immortal that he loves, and if he
Right.
dies, then that means that he can't be
Complicates
with the
things.
people that he loves.
Right.
So he needs to obtain some form of immortality. Right now, I see two and a half viable routes, because right now the clone spell is semi-immortality.
Uh-huh.
Like, there's still a lot of ways to kill someone who has the clone spell active.
Uh-huh.
He could obtain the 20th level boon that
Uh-huh.
says that age no longer affects you.
Uh-huh.
Like, you just can't die of old age. Um,
Now, here's my question. Do you think that we're gonna get 20th level boons?
I mean, I think if we ask nicely, I think it's possible. Um, or he just becomes a lich. And this is a differing matter of opinion between me and DJ, because in my mind, lichdom, I don't like the way that like old liches happen. Which is old liches are required to be evil.
Uh-huh.
Literally, like, if you become a lich, you gain dark knowledge and are immediately evil.
Uh-huh.
But like, if you look at current Dungeons and Dragons, there's a lot of pretty okay liches.
Uh-huh.
And a lot they're called arc liches that are literally like, most of the time the way that they go about it is like for the greater good.
Uh-huh.
Which, to be fair, is pretty Abinthy.
Right.
But like, as far as I can tell, liches require a number of things. They need to the process of creating a lich or becoming a lich is you need to create a special potion That potion includes poison. You drink the potion, and that way it'll kill you. And then in the next
Right.
10 days, you have to, like, normally it requires a sacrifice of a soul. And
Right.
then you can bind your soul to a phylactery. And then you're great. But you have to feed that phylactery in order to maintain your life, which involves more souls. But as far as I can tell, souls are just a form of energy, right?
Uh-huh.
And so all you need is an alternative energy form. We basically just need ethanol. Like right now we're operating on just pure oil, pure gas. Like
Now,
we're operating
Aaron,
diesel.
this would be my argument for how Amethy could achieve it without souls.
Oh yeah.
You have access to mana, dude.
That's what I'm saying. I can change spells, dude. I could just change the
You
like
could just
soul
you
thing.
could just change the ritual for
Yeah, and just to have it cost mana.
Yeah.
We're great. We're living. You need to charge it like once a year with a full mana pool. So like for a month of time, Abinthy is weaker than he normally is, which makes for a fantastic plot point to a future side episode where it's
Yeah,
like, shoot, Abinthy is in trouble because it's in his weak month.
Yeah,
Because people are like, we need to kill this lich, and Abinthy's like, guys, yo,
I'm
calm it
chill.
down. And so I mean, I love the idea of becoming a lich. Have I already mentioned? So, in the process of making Triple M, I really want to make prestige classes.
Oh,
They're
yeah,
like
yeah.
once you reach 20th level, you can prestige into like lich and arc druid and like archmage and stuff like that. That are like the next step beyond, and like sword master and things like that.
Right.
I love the idea of becoming more than like a class character sheet. I
Right.
love that. I have mentioned it to DJ, and DJ has not been particularly positive about the idea, but I'm a very convincing person.
You are, I think, when it comes to D&D, I think, Aaron, you are the one person who can convince DJ of anything.
I've got a lot of experience, a silver tongue, and I talk just circles around people. So like, no matter how Abinthy needs to become immortal, the main purpose of this is that's a thing that Abinthy has been trying to figure out for a long time, and B, that means that for future episodes, he can do reason stuff where it's like maybe we play an episode like just a one shot or like a mini campaign in like our break that's like, Cather, you've been contacted by the gods of death. Abinthy is a lich. They don't like that. But in reality, Abinthy is using the gods of death to get in contact with you because he's like, yo, there's a bigger problem to deal with here.
See, Aaron, this is what we need to do. We need to petition DJ to have a during the break one shot where Abinthy and Edward and Cather go and fight the Soul Stealer.
Yes.
That's the one thing I want.
100%. Like dude.
and maybe that's how Abinthy becomes a lich. Is Abinthy? Oh my gosh! This is no, Aaron. This is what you need to do. When Abinthy fights Wisteria Vale, you need to keep her alive. Okay, you just you need to imprison her.
Oh well, so I literally, that is something that we'll talk about in the episode. But Abinthy can control your guys' characters, but he will say, "Look, I'm not able to kill her because I was asked by someone I respect to not." And as much as I think that's dumb,
Who asked you? Who asked you not to kill
Kiyomura.
her?
He was like, "Could we like not kill her?"
Oh
though?
yeah, Kiyomura did ask. That's
100%.
right.
And so
I
Abinthy's like,
forgot
"Look,
about that.
as someone who loves someone who is unlovable, I get it. And so out of respect for that, I can't kill her. Like, I need to trap her. You guys have no such obligation. Like, I can't control you guys.
That.
So if you guys kill her, I'm not going to be upset at you.
So here's the trick. Here's the rough part about that, right?
Yeah.
Is first of all, Wisteria Vale is a manipulative scumbag
Yeah.
and is just trash. And I think Miriam Azima and Lorelai
Yeah.
have very similar opinions to that.
Mm-hmm.
And likely, given what we do know about Miriam Azima, for instance, she definitely is gonna want to kill Wisteria Vale.
Oh yeah. See,
Be- like
this is what I'll say.
Because here's the thing, right? Here's the thing, right? Like when we met with Ms. Miriam Azima the first time, right? And we're like, hey, help us with this thing. She's like, no. And
No.
we try to convince her and we give valid argument as to why like she should help us. And she's like, no. So she strikes me as the kind of person who's like, no, I'm going to do my thing and I'm not going to let somebody else convince me otherwise.
See,
And they're just going to have to deal with
This
it.
is what we got to bring up. We've got to be like, hey, this is what Abernathy's going to do. Like, hey, here's the deal. If you land the finishing blow, aim for the kill. But if I land the finishing blow and she's unconscious, then you have to let me imprison her instead.
Do you have the imprisonment, though?
Well, I mean, I do, but also my girlfriend is the Lord of the Sixth Layer of Hell, which is a prison layer. So, like, I can just throw her in jail.
But see, can she leave?
Nope.
She can't leave.
No.
So how have we left and entered all these times?
Because I'm dating her.
So every time that we've entered or left that layer of hell,
yeah,
it has been with her permission to do so.
Exiting hell requires permission from the person who rules the layer. Certain layers have different rules about that. Like Stygia is different because Levistus is frozen in a block of ice. So his actual capability of stopping people from entering and leaving is much more limited. The first layer of hell is pretty easy to get out of because that's like the border of hell and people just are crossing all the time. Right. But like sixth layer of hell,
and you know, like in Avernus, she's got other things.
Yeah, she's like, oh man, someone's teleporting in and out of here. Well, what are you gonna do about it? Literally,
I'm
fighting
literally
a war right now.
I'm literally fighting the blood war.
Yeah, like people, thousands upon thousands of demons and devils are actively crossing the border of hell all the time. Right. Like one or two more is going to be like, oh well, that's inconvenient.
But anyway, getting back to what I was getting at. So here's what I think. Imprison Wisteria Vale, capture her, and then Abernathy later, because Wisteria Vale is immortal.
Yeah.
At least, in the true sense of immortality, if she cannot die of old age.
Yeah, I use her soul to power my phylactery.
Yes, that's what I was getting at.
There we go.
You use her to power your phylactery, and then there you go. It's all gravy.
100%. And then here's the other nice thing is that I plan. So like most liches like hide their phylactery. I just plan on giving mine to Talonashta. Where it's like, look, Talon, I'm a lich, which means that like sometimes liches go a little bit crazy. So I'm gonna need you, just as you always have, to kind of keep me in line. Or like if I go too far, you've got it, buddy.
Oh my goodness! I just now realized Talon is so pissed at you right now.
Oh, bro, she is livid. Like, she also thinks I'm dead.
I know that's what that's like, why. Because you left her behind when she wanted to go with us, right? Now, I think it's the correct call that we just totally dissed her.
100%.
However, if she got word that Abernathy died fighting a dragon, she is going to be so upset with you.
Here's the thing.
Honestly, almost to the point that I would imagine that Talanash would be like, all right, guys, get me to the hells. I need to go talk to Abernathy.
Here's the thing about Talonashta is that in my mind, as the person who designed this NPC, I think that Talonashta would fully believe that Abernathy is alive. Like, she could see the body and be like,
nah,
he'll be fine. Like, I know Abernathy. If he can't find a way out of dying, then he never was even here. Like, first of all, he never even died.
Yeah.
Like, this is a clone of Abinthy, clearly not the real one.
If he can't find a way out of death, he's not Abinthy.
No, that someone else has died. That's what it is. So, like, now she would still be angry more of the fact that he didn't inform her of what was going on than the fact that he died.
Oh my goodness.
Like,
That would be I now really want to see Talnasha see Abinthy again.
oh, I mean,
Before the finale.
there will
I wanna see
probably be a moment in the episode where Abinthy, he may not talk to Talanashta, like, in person, but he will, like, visit where she is to, like, let her know that he's alive. But, like, also, I don't really want to talk to her because she scares me sometimes. So he'll probably just, like, leave a sign that he is alive and then, like,
Just
jet back
just
to hell.
just put a note on the door.
Ooh, invite for Grant?
Just put a note
Ooh.
on the door and and then literally like a couple hours later, Abinthy like hears like a message, like a sending spell in his head. Also,
Yeah.
can they still hear me? Or
Yeah, they can still hear me.
okay, good. And so like Abinthy just hears like a sending spell in his head of Talnasha just yelling at him. He's like, Abinthy, you came by and you didn't say hello.
What are
I
you
thought
doing?"
you were dead, you jerk.
Are you talking to me?
No, no.
Yes. No.
Oh, okay.
And
guys.
that I want that to happen so much.
They can
No,
hear
we're
you, but
talking
they
about-
cannot see you, just so you know.
No, Grant, we are talking about this upcoming Monday and how we are going to be fighting Wisteria Vale, and we were talking about the dilemma of whether or not we should kill Wisteria Vale or not.
Oh, okay. I feel like it's not that.
Well,
I
see,
feel like
okay,
it's not much of an argument.
I didn't think there's much of a dilemma either until Aaron aptly pointed out that Kiyomura asked that we not kill Wisteria Vale.
But DJ plays Kiyomura, which is a little suspicious.
Well, so this is my thing, Grant. Abinthy can't kill Wisteria Vale because he was asked not to. But he
Okay.
will not be, like, wildly upset if the other people kill Wisteria Vale. Because he's like, look,
Now, what?
I get it.
Meaning either myself as Miriam Azima or you as Lorelai.
Yeah, because like Miriam Azima and Lorelai were not asked not to kill
Yeah,
Wisteria.
they have
Right.
no such
And-
obligation.
And they probably have more personal stake in killing her.
Also, sorry for taking
Yeah,
so long
that-
in the editing of this here. All of
Like-
my images are messed up, so I have to fully re-edit
Like-
the frames.
I'm pretty sure like they are. I mean, they clearly like knew Wisteria Vale from back in the day, and clearly have like some long-standing
beef.
beef
They've got
with
some.
Wisteria Vale. Therefore,
Wisteria Vale is like thousands. Wait,
yeah, I mean, because she was
Thousands
around
of
when
years?
Clovar was first around.
Yeah.
Right,
She's
how?
they've got full hamburger helper beef right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
do they just have some like? Do they have some like
Bam.
Eastern medicine that they
I mean, Grant,
use to like live
Grant,
so long?
you might
How's
not remember-
Wisteria,
Grant, you might not remember this because it's been a while since we
Hi,
talked to her
everybody.
about this.
by the way. I'm
But-
on table scraps again.
Wisteria Vale is immortal in the true sense of that she cannot die of old age.
Yeah, so she probably has the, like, 20th level boon. That
Yeah,
just
just like the
says you
20th
cannot die of
Oh.
old age.
Yeah.
Or
Okay.
something. The other ones, like Lorelai and Miriam, are the,
Ooh,
like,
you
pact
know-
holder people who
You
are
know
the
what would be
sacrifices.
a true
So
plot
that's how they
twist?
lived.
This, you know what would be a true plot twist?
That Miriam Azima is still evil. Just like
That
I've
would be
always
unfortunate.
believed.
No,
Wait.
Well-
Are you playing Miriam?
no, I'm playing
No.
Miriam.
Okay.
You're
so
playing
that's
Lorelai.
not gonna
I'm
happen.
playing Miriam. Aaron is playing Abinthy.
Yep.
If Aaron was playing Miriam, then I would think maybe Miriam will end up being evil.
What if I knew?
But since it's you, Drew, I trust you, and so
Well,
I
thank
think
you. Thank you. I appreciate that you, Grant, trust me to play a character that I actually have no stake in being good or evil because it's not
Yeah.
my character.
Yeah.
That being said, a really fun plot twist that I totally could see being a thing is Wisteria Vale is actually one of the 6 sacrifices and not Zeus Thrym.
They like swapped it up or something.
Okay.
Yep.
Or
That would
like,
make it remarkably more difficult.
I
I think
could
that
totally
would make sense.
I could totally see that being a thing that has happened.
We'll have to do some
Also,
configure.
Also, another thing is this is totally unrelated to any of the current conversation. I really hope we get to find and save Marcus Steele and like see him like in battle, because he definitely, from what DJ's talked about him, he definitely seems like the most fun one of the 6 sacrifices.
Yeah, he does seem like the most chill dude. Where he's
Yeah.
like, "Look, man, here I am. I'm a sacrifice.
A guy
just
you could
for the
grab a
good of
beer
the
with.
world."
Yeah, like he feels
could crack
like
open
one of
a
the 6
cold
sacrifices where like he would totally be down to go get some drinks with the party and
Yeah.
chill and have a great time.
He probably is in a bowling league
Oh yeah, 100%.
and is like good but doesn't try, and because he's there for the conversation.
Right. And so I really hope that at some point we find him, we free him, and we get to see him in action.
I hope that the way that this goes is we do our 3 kind of trio shots. We
Mhm.
have an episode where we like bust into Clovara's home base.
Yep.
And we kind of split up again, where like
Kind
we
of.
go to like some of us go to free your girlfriend, and then some
Right.
of us go to free Marcus Steele, and
See,
then
where
we all reconvene to fight Clovar. That's the
I would
last episode.
imagine that like it'd be like a bigger group than just the party.
Oh
It'd be
yeah.
because like it would be like I assume like Visine and Track aren't sticking around past these those low trio shots.
Yeah, I'd assume. I mean, they're Force ghosts. They probably won't be with
But
us.
there's also
through,
the
like, the whole
potential
thing.
that they're there until the mission is finished. They Gandalf it.
Yeah, that
Oh, that-
I
yeah,
I
that could
could
be.
see that as a potential. I just don't know. However, that being said, I definitely think that after we finish these these little trio shots and the party reunites, I imagine like we would be like with like a majority of the 6 sacrifices. There'd be several members of like the Chosen, all that kind of stuff, and so like the party as the unit of like of Cather, Kiamor, Edward, Aventhy, maybe somebody else, right? Like they would be the person, like they would go like free Atrasil, and like the other 6 sacrifices would go free Marcus Steele, stuff like that.
Aaron, I'm
No.
curious. When you playing as Visine, when you used the whole "I've been in the afterlife," like fighting off
Oh, yeah.
the things at the
On the
edges
shores
of
of
whatever you
eternity.
said,
Yeah.
was that something that DJ chipped
No,
in on?
no,
or
not
okay,
at all.
because if DJ had chipped in, I'd be like, well, maybe that was DJ's way of getting Visine out of the rest
Hey-
of the campaign. But since you just
Hey,
threw it in,
Aaron,
I mean,
Aaron,
it gives Visine a reason to leave anyways.
can you confirm or deny? Are the Shores of Eternity going to come up in campaign 2?
I cannot confirm or deny. Because here's the thing. That really isn't my choice.
Okay, I'm going
We'll
to
make a
refrain.
song
I'm going to
called-
reframe my statement. Do the Shores of Eternity exist in campaign 2?
Well, I mean, of course they exist. Do
Okay,
you
great,
think that
that's
I
all-
just make something up and then don't commit to it?
I mean, I don't
Look,
know,
I
Aaron.
talk a lot of flack, and it always comes back.
Bro, Aaron already has a like 5-page dissertation on the shores of insanity in his head.
Bro.
And just from saying the words.
100%. I was crafting a full explanation. What exactly? By the way, it was the doors of eternity.
Yeah.
It was not
The
the shores.
doors.
It was not the. It was
So
not
like
the
the gates of heaven vibe. Oh,
Yeah.
different.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
the
the
doors of eternity. Yeah.
I have
I like
full
shores
lore
better,
as
but-
to
I
why,
like
what
shores.
they are, what's going on. I made it up all in that session.
Shores of Eternity gives Cliffs of Insanity vibes from, The Princess Bride. It gives that vibes to me, where it's just like, oh, the shores of eternity. I wanna go there.
Well, to be fair, the doors of eternity could be on the shores of eternity. Like
There
there's
we
just
go.
a bunch of shores,
I like,
and
and
then
it's
a
on
big set of
it's
doors.
it's on the Isle of Eternity as
Yeah.
well.
It's on the Eternal Isles.
The continent of eternity.
Yeah, let me tell you, if any of you would have asked me anything about the Doors of Eternity, I would have had an answer for it.
And it might have been
So-
completely not premeditated at all,
so
but
just-
it would
None
have
of
been an answer
None
nonetheless.
of it would have been.
So I have no idea where we're gonna pick back up when we come back to Cather and Kiamura and Visor, but I so hope we just pick up right after like where we ended. Like we're like still like in the Dragon Cave and we
Yeah.
have a little bit of time, because I would so love it if we just started role playing of just be like, so Visor, now that we've finished killing this dragon, like what are you doing at like the Doors of Eternity?
Yeah,
like what's going on
you're
over
like,
there?
you're like you're like and you pull out your blade and you're like, so what are the Doors of Eternity? I've been thinking about that this whole time. And Visor's like, oh, well, the Doors of Eternity.
See,
Can we
So here's the-
talk
here's the
about how
fight-
that voice was nothing like DJ's voice for Visor?
No, this
Oh
is
my-
this is my headcanon for what I've heard every single time he speaks of Bison.
Yep.
This is my
That's
headcanon
amazing.
for
Yep.
Bison.
Yeah, I see, Aaron. I find it amusing because like that totally is like how Cather would bring it up. Like literally, it would be like breathing heavy. He'd just sheath it, like clean off his sword and sheath it, and just be like, ah. So Visor, and just be so casual about the fact that they
What do you mean the Doors of Eternity?
because here's the thing, right? Like in my head, that's like how casual and seamless like their conversations are. Because like the thing is like Visor and Cather have been in so many battles together. Like it's not a big deal for them to just pick up a conversation
Like,
right
it's
after
like-
doing something important.
It's the same
you know?
vibe as like when you were probably younger, and you like fought off some encroaching trolls or something from a village, and they
Yeah.
like kill them, and they're like, so Cather, I heard that you were talking with that barmaid earlier. Like, what's the deal
Exactly.
with that?
Exactly.
You're like loading the bodies onto a cart to go
Yeah.
like cremate them, and you're just having a normal discussion.
100%.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
100% how.
So
their
you see
lives
the
work.
game last Tuesday while you're
Yeah.
like loading a troll body.
I think the Patriots really have a shot this year. Like,
Yes, that is
Um,
100% what their conversations were.
yeah, I mean, I love big climactic
Patriots is
fights.
canon now. There are patriots in this world.
Well, yeah, of course there
For
are
some
Patriots.
game.
Well, I mean, it may not be a game. They may be talking
Was
about...
that a war pun?
it
Was
could
that
have
on
been.
purpose?
Yes. Yes, it
Okay.
was, Grant. I like how
Okay.
you can't tell that I'm looking at you because my screen is to my right, but I'm looking
It's okay.
directly at you on that screen. Now I'm looking
I believe you.
directly at you on this
I'm looking
screen.
at you I'm
In
looking
all
at
of
my
the
camera,
screens.
which is you.
But yeah.
What were you saying?
That's a great question, Grant. Anyway, because you actually joined pretty late in the game here, Grant.
I did, yeah. Yeah.
What are things? Do you have anything that you would like to reveal on Table Scraps? Any
Yeah,
questions that you
yeah.
have? Anything like
What's
that?
the
Yeah.
deal with you and Lanatari, huh, buddy? Are you going to become the next Father Goddess?
Yo. That stuff is crazy.
Okay. No,
Thank you.
right before you joined, we were actually talking about you.
Okay.
We were talking about you, actually.
As
Look, I
for,
got
like-
stuff to say, alright.
As for like what we were kind of talking about, like possibilities for what happens like after we beat Clovar, like what happens to people.
Yeah, like what
Exactly your
since we're
secret
coming
is and
on
everything.
coming to the end of the campaign, you know,
Yeah.
like what is your epilogue that you have in mind?
Yeah, and I had
So
brought
that's a
up-
great question, actually.
Yeah. I
So-
brought up like sorry, I'm gonna talk. I
It's
talked
okay,
over you and then I
please.
paused and then I'm gonna go anyway.
It's okay. After you start, I'm gonna talk over you.
Like there are a
Anyway.
couple of possibilities for like how Edward goes with this. Like what if the secret of like if you assemble the rod and you are like the true master of the rod, like what if you like become like the new god of creation, at least for a small amount of time, and like if that happens, what are the after effects of this? And it's like there are a couple of different possibilities where like maybe you just are that now. I could super see. I think the most likely thing, like putting myself in your shoes of like what I think Grant would do, is like Drew compared it to Athala, where it's like you kind of correct the things, you get things running on the right track, you trim the fat, you put in good things, take away bad things, and then you're like, sick, I'm done. I'm going to retire. And I know that if I were in your position, I would go the route of like, I'm not going to give up my power, but like, I'm going to kind of fade away into the background. I'm just going to kind of wander. I'm going to keep doing my job. But like, the entire vibe of it is like, there is a new god of creation and he walks among us. Like,
Among Us?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Right.
I'm following. That's not too far off from some ideas I have. As far as Edward goes, his most guiding factor, I think, in this situation and throughout the campaign is the fact that he will basically do whatever he thinks he has to do. He's gonna do that thing. And so in this circumstance, I had not talked to DJ prior to this about this insane responsibility that Edward would take on. And I actually really like how DJ brought it about, where it was that Edward was kind of at his breaking point in a way, where he almost couldn't take it. He didn't think they were going to win, etc. The same old, but at this point he's really serious about it. Right. He really thinks he finally has given up to the fact that he thinks there is no purpose, that he thinks this is all for naught and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And at that moment of breaking, he finally gets rewarded for his faith. Although he believes he doesn't have faith, his faith that his works are actually worth something. His faith that there might be a purpose. And so now he's rewarded for that and he's given purpose, which I love that angle of Edward's story. So as far as now, that's amazing. Yeah. I really like that DJ put the timer of 1 year with these abilities. I think Edward will be hesitant to use these abilities. I don't think he's going to be, wielding them very loudly.
Have a good day,
however, Anki, thanks for hanging out. See you later. I think, though, that when the time comes, Edward's going to do what he has to do, whatever that might be. And I don't even know what to expect. Maybe it's the key. Maybe it is wielding the rod and becoming like a godlike influence on the world, which I'm down with. For a long time, I've thought with Edward, though, as far as the end of his character, and I don't know what to expect. I don't know what's going to happen from here on out that might change this. But for the longest time, one of the ideas for the outcomes of Edward is that he will come to terms with the fact that he can enjoy his own life and that he can do the things that he loves, that he can be who he sees himself being. And that would mean maybe living a quiet life, writing, enjoying music, being in love with somebody, maybe helping take care of a town or city. And I think for Edward, for him, writing and music and magic and all these things, I think that is more his ideal life. And it's the life that he's given up for what he believes he has to do. And so I could see him giving up his power and electing to accept his mediocrity, quote unquote, and live a humble, happy life. I could see that happening. I could also see Edward being someone who comes to terms with his goodness, I guess. I could see him believing in himself finally and wielding his power. Like, I could see that happening too. And honestly, I think the events from now until the end of the campaign will help me decide on what he does. I struggle with the idea of Edward, like, taking up godhood and keeping godhood. But at the same time, that's kind of epic. So I'm kind of fine with whatever. What you got, Drew?
Okay, so first of all your comments were amazing, and I actually loved it because Aaron and I had had very similar thoughts when it came to Edward and all the things going on with the end of the campaign. I just had a revelation, guys. I know how we're gonna free Atrasil.
What? How?
And funnily enough, it totally 100% involves Edward.
Okay.
You have the ability of creation and destruction.
I do every 1d6 plus 3 days.
You could just get rid of the door.
Yeah. Theoretically, yeah, I could do a lot more than that, buddy.
I mean, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like we could literally walk up to this magic door that has like impenetrable wards and glyphs on it, and Edward could be like, "All right, you're gone now."
Yeah.
Whap. Prison gone. Prison gone.
And then
What
yeah.
DJ did not specify how destruction happens, so I don't know if it's like everything deteriorates and crumbles, or if it's like things vanish. He didn't really specify. It
I mean, I
sounds
don't
like I
think it
can do
matters.
terraforming. I can like
Yeah,
reconstruct.
Knowing DJ, it
One thing I
sounds
can't
it'll probably
do.
be violent.
Yeah, and I cannot do anything that might harm like intelligent
people,
life.
yeah.
I know, yeah.
And so I could see that being a reason that wouldn't work.
Well, see,
But
here's my thought.
I really like
you're
the
not trying
idea
to
of
destroy the room or the building,
Right.
just the door.
The door. And honestly, he could do that. He's like, everybody is like, we're at the end of the road. We're gonna get caught. And Edward's like, no, we're not. He glows, and then like, ah! And the door just explodes. Dude, I love that stuff.
Yeah.
Bro, shout out for DJ for giving Edward like god powers.
Again,
It's like
basically, DJ gave Edward and Grant temporary creative mode for Minecraft.
Well,
yes,
see,
literally, I can terraform.
thematically, it is the good choice, and also like out of game, it is the perfect choice.
He gave you access to MC Edit. That's what he did.
You know
Yeah.
that like he definitely can't give that to me.
Oh, 100%.
No
Yeah.
way. And
Yeah, I'm not gonna break the game
shouldn't
with
give
it.
it to Drew. Like in terms
Just
of
morally,
characters, yeah.
ethically.
Also, hello, Lucas on Twitch for first time chatter. Hello, we're talking
Oh,
about
Lucas on Twitch, welcome.
But this
Yeah.
is Table Scraps, the show where we talk about the show that we have on Mondays.
Yeah, at 7 p.m. CST, where we play Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition. We're approaching the end of the campaign, so there will be spoilers. Fair warning.
Yeah, lots of spoilers.
'Cause
Cheeky
let me
little
tell you,
sideshow.
Abinthy is, without a doubt, like he would use that for nefarious purposes. Cathar would use it to get vengeance.
See,
Edward doesn't have a single idea what to do with it. His head empty.
Edward's afraid of it.
Well, see, here's the thing, though. Right?
Edward is a himbo. The best person to get a weapon of mass destruction.
I do find it somewhat amusing, Aaron, that you bring up the fact that you can't that Lonatari can't give it to Cathar because he used it for vengeance, even though she gave him power over the word of death.
Well, yeah, she gave you the vengeance button that has stipulations. Having the I can literally create or destroy any like non-sentient matter. Bruh, Cathar would be like, all right, trapped in a pit for eternity. I'm not hurting you.
Yeah, that's true.
I just caused a bubble of solid existence around you, and you can never escape it.
That is accurate. Actually.
That is your punishment.
Edward's mind goes to like,
Gavel down.
I can make Athala pretty again.
Yeah, he's like, I can build a city, and Cathar's like, I could trap someone in a perfect orb of stone that they could never escape from for the rest of time until starvation takes them. In fact, I may even trap them with a reusable food resource, so they go insane in a realm where they can't even die.
Yeah, I think it is good that Edward got this ability.
I think you're projecting a little bit, Aaron, as to
That's
what you would do.
Abinthy for sure would. No, Cathar would. Cathar would not use it to like make a bunch of stuff.
I mean, it depends. See, here's the thing. I picture in Cathar's like in his 50s and 60s, right?
He really mellows out.
Like I think Cathar mellows out and becomes a much more of a stable person.
So like if you were to basically what we're looking at here is like font sizes for create and destroy. Where like Edward, the font size for create is way larger than the one for destroy. Where he's like his like destroy is like I could destroy a door or like I could change the landscape so it's easier to build on. And then you get to Abinthy, and destroy is so much larger than create. Abinthy is like, I could just destroy a mountain. Let's go.
Edward's like, I can rebuild cities. Abinthy's like, I could destroy the dwarven strongholds.
With one flick of my hand. And then you get to Cathar, and destroy is definitely larger than create, but not by nearly the extent that it is for Abinthy.
think it would. I think again, it depends on the current Cather. It would be like great. I could like create like an army,
Yeah.
like he could like create like a full bastion of weaponry and armor and like siege weapons and like
Yeah.
ships
Or, like-
for like battle.
Yeah, I can create a prison cell. Like, that's what I'm creating with my time. I'm gonna make it out of solid diamond. Like, try busting out of there.
No.
bucko.
You have to make it out of lead.
Yeah.
You have to make it out of lead. Well, actually, no. You need it.
Adamantine, diamond.
You need it
like-
coated in lead, filled in with diamond, adamantine, and then the final
mithril.
layer.
Netherite.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, netherite.
Just like I'm gonna build an inescapable prison without magic. I'm just gonna press the "you're in jail" button, and people are just gonna be walking across the land. They're gonna see some person in an inescapable jail cell, and they're gonna be like, "Well, there's Cather."
Edward's like, who wants a pool?
Pools for
I
everyone.
can give
it's
you a pool.
free.
You just wait 1d6 plus 3 days every time,
Bro,
but it will be
I'll
installed
just
eventually.
make a whole hot spring.
Yeah, let's just make a hot spring, you know?
So, Aaron, this is why Edward's episode is Team Wholesome,
Yeah.
is Team Good Vibes.
Yeah.
I mean, Edward's, you know, he's got
'Cause he-
things.
Well,
He's got
because see,
some
here's the thing.
Dark
Here's the thing.
secrets.
So we
Yeah.
determined, Grant. This is why you weren't here. So we determined, right? So we had the return of Team Smite Night.
Yep. Team Smite.
Right.
Night.
Then we
Second
then-
team. My episode is Team Shadow Wizard Money Gang.
Yep.
That's
Okay,
that's what
that's
our
fitting.
team name is.
That's
and then we determined that your night, since it's Leshka, Tarak, and Edward, is gonna be Team Good Vibes.
Yeah.
It will be Team Good Vibes. Yeah,
Team
I like
Good
that.
Vibes.
Team Good
It's just gonna
Vibes, and
be-
also surviving the wastes.
Yeah.
Except Edward can fix the wastes, by the way.
Yeah. He could just
Like, he just can't.
create the
He
way.
just be like, by the way, the wastes are now a luscious forest as it used to be, or whatever it was.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
What?
Would Tarak encourage it?
I don't know. We'll see. But
Would
that's
Trek
something.
care?
Also,
Trek has no say in the matter anymore. He's
think
Ron
dead.
and
think
Tari
Tarak might
mentioned
care.
the wastes.
Oh yeah.
I
But are
You
you
know,
reforming
okay.
the whole waste?
here's one thing. Here's one thing that I think we need to consider. The fact that DJ has handed one of us the ability to like fix things, that gives DJ a whole lot of room to just break everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see like a post-apocalyptic, the whole world is like messed up and like terrible and broken, and then somehow we win, and then we have to fix everything, and then Edward's like a little fairy running around being like, okay, this city is better. Okay, let's travel to the city. Okay, this city's better,
Oh my God.
right?
Edward
That's kind of
would
what
be
I
so
picture.
exhausted.
Yeah, he would be, but I mean, he's got
The reason why Edward can only wield it for a year is because he's gonna be dead by the time that year passes.
Yeah, right. I also gotta point this out too about Edward's character in this situation. Like from very early on, what I've loved about Edward and a part of his build, why his build isn't that impressive, is because I love the idea of a somewhat regular person, like normal, unimpressive person who needs help, like doing extraordinary things. I just love that story.
Oh, yeah.
Of Edward really not being at the same level as his constituents, but like still performing with them and like changing the world. And so here we are, like Edward, this normal guy, quote unquote. I mean, he's done extraordinary things, but still, like in the way he was talking to Lanatar, saying things like, you know, like I like music and I like, you know,
I like talking
flower,
about
nature.
economy.
I like the economy for some reason. He was like, I don't know, like I have to save the world when I just want to be a part of it. Like that's his whole thing.
Yeah,
Like he just
banger
wants to
line, by
be
the
a
way.
normal person.
That was
Thank you.
a great line.
And here he is, and now once again he's like given this insane like responsibility.
Yeah, like
and this
burden.
insane. Yeah, and so to Edward it's like not exactly a gift, but it's not. He's also like honored to do it. So I still love how it pushes forward this narrative of this person who is normal, who is doing extraordinary things. I just love that. I love it.
See, Grant, I think you bring up a great point because what these past episodes have confirmed in my mind is Edward N. Fellows is Captain Steve Rogers, and specifically,
With all the
specifically,
Judeo-Christian principles in place.
no. Specifically, because hear me out. Because specifically in the first Captain America film, when he is going through the process of being selected for the treatment, the reason he was chosen is because he's weak. Is because
Exactly.
he's less than.
Literally,
Because-
there was a
because
point where he's
the-
like, "I'm weak," and she's like,
The
"That's
banger
good."
line is he knows weakness and he knows the value of strength and the responsibility of it. That's
Yeah.
Edward.
Yeah,
He
I
knows
think
what
you're
it
right.
means to just be just a dude.
Edward is Captain America. You heard it here
Edward
first.
is
and
Captain
Track is
America.
Bucky. Track is Bucky.
It's true. I do get a cool robot arm.
Okay, wait, hold on. If does that make okay, so that definitely makes Abinthy Tony Stark.
Probably.
Just
Does-
pretentious.
Does that
and
make
rude
is
and...
Cather
Playboy billionaire philanthropist.
is
Adam
Cather-
Petro.
Cather's Hawkeye. Hawkeye.
really Hawkeye, you think?
I don't know.
I was
maybe.
thinking
Hawkeye's
like-
kind of paladin-y.
You know Cather is our Black Widow, dude.
I was
Oh, yeah,
no.
actually.
Q
Yeah,
Moore
maybe,
is
yeah.
Black Widow.
Oh shoot, you're right.
Is Cather the Hulk?
I was thinking Cather would be like
Is-
Thor or
Banner's-
Vision.
I mean, Thor
Kinda-
fits. I think Thor's probably
I think
pretty fair.
Thor, right? Because he's the lovable goofball.
He's the valiant. Like,
Is that what
"Hello."
Cather is? The lovable
I
goofball?
would not call Cather the lovable goof.
Like I feel like Banner is usually more serious and like, uptight. Not saying that Cather's always that way,
no,
but Banner's
no,
like
I think
smart
that-
and then can also
here's the
kill
thing.
things by being the
It
Hulk.
depends on the variant of Thor. Because like
Yeah.
if you get, I think if you
Yeah,
go
okay.
like animated show Thor, where he's very like, I am here, I am Thor, yeah, and then he like throws a hammer. I think that fits.
That is
Cather
that.
pretty
Yeah,
well.
that's good. that's good,
If
yeah.
you go like MCU,
He-Man?
which is such a bad example of some of the like Marvel characters, in my opinion, then I don't know if he fits Thor.
Yeah.
But to be fair, I don't
God
think any
of
of
War,
us
maybe?
exactly fit any of the archetypes. Like,
Kratos.
No,
Maybe.
Abinthy is Kratos.
probably early game Kratos, yeah, like God of War 1 and 2.
When he's just like going crazy.
Zeus, he's just like hanging off of a cliff, shaking his
Oh my
fist at
goodness.
God.
Actually, what we actually are, right?
Hades, your tricks.
Well, no, actually, no, maybe not. I was gonna say Edward has unlocked the Avatar state,
Oh God, we can't get into the Avatar. We can't do it.
but I
Um,
was gonna say maybe it's not best that we go there. You know? For once, I'm gonna choose not to go
I'm
to
so
Avatar.
proud. This is called character development. I'm proud of you.
It's it's just called self restraint.
Yeah, this is completely off topic, but I just want to say shout out to the best NPC we've ever had, Michael the Angel, also known as Mike.
Rest in
what a
peace.
guy! He
Rest
had
in
one
peace.
line.
What a guy.
He had one line in the whole, and it was a Bible joke. Which, mind you, he was the entire NPC was a Bible joke. The angel.
Oh
Michael.
yeah, the Angel
Yeah.
of Death.
And
yeah,
then,
is
and then
Michael.
the only thing that he says in the campaign is "Do not be afraid" as he's like dying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gosh, I love
What
the
a guy.
Bible humor in our
Oh
shows.
my goodness! I think that it might be some of our best jokes.
Although,
it's just
okay,
like the
so-
occasional Bible.
so-
oh man,
Bible reference.
Aaron and Grant.
yes,
since
Andrew.
since Cather got like his banger one liner to finish off the fight, I'm gonna ask you guys. I wanna ask you guys to
Okay.
think. Aaron, I know you have like 1,020,000 stored up, but I'm just saying it seems like maybe we need to have a few banger one lines for these trios. Just saying.
oh yeah,
Ooh.
oh buddy,
Like
I don't have any loaded. in
I'm
my
ready.
gun.
I'm ready for Abinthy, like in the Wisteria Vale fight, just to be like, well, now you will face the wrath
Bro,
of the last
I'm gonna tell you-
wandering
I'm gonna tell you
tailor.
one that you will hear for sure. I'm just gonna tell you this one right now, so that way it won't surprise you when it happens.
Uh huh.
but he's going to enter into a bit of a tangent that you're not going to see where it's going, but it will explain his exact reason for fighting Wisteria Vale. And at some point in time, he will say the words, "And so Tarsus leapt unto hell," and the fiends that were present shivered in the knowing that vengeance is the business of a man.
Is that from something?
Yes.
Or did you?
Well, I mean, it's a parody of something, but yes.
Oh, okay. That's
And
pretty
bro,
good.
it's a banger.
I did.
Look, I have a shotgun approach where it's like I just toss out one-liners every chance I get. It's a very widespread, but every now and then
One of
a
them hits
couple
the
of
mark.
hit the target. Yeah.
You see,
And
we just need to
that's my
start
approach.
throwing you into the trenches, because shotguns are very effective when they can only run at you in a straight line.
Yeah, so just like give me as many situations to have a one line as you can, and I will make them. And most of them probably won't land, but a couple of them will.
A majority of the Edward session likely will be roleplay. So
Absolutely, you're gonna have so many options.
Have one liners? Heck yeah. Look, I still have the napkin of the bullet points of what I was gonna say for my conversation with Lon. I wrote this during the session, and I was like, oh, this is what I'll say to Lon and Tari. I have little bullet points. That's how, baby, on the fly.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank
I am
you.
as well. That's some good prep, because I just try to
That's
keep
the
them in my
most notes
mind.
I've taken this entire.
I just try to keep
know,
my things in my mind,
Okay.
and only sometimes do I remember them exactly.
Yeah, and I mean, I tried to write down everything, but the problem is I'm a slow writer, so I often miss stuff just because like DJ will be talking and doing things, and I'm like, okay, I'm following. Oh, and he's done, and I don't know like what the second half of what he said
Gotta
was.
change the music. Oh, we're in combat.
Exactly.
Beep, 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 beep. Speaking of combat,
What? Are you ready? Are you ready to enter into combat as 20th level wizard that you have no idea what it does?
Although
are you talking about Edward?
I think
About
Lorelai.
you.
I think Lorelai is a sorcerer.
Oh no, I'm not ready for that.
I'm pretty sure
At all.
Lorelai is. I'm pretty sure
Actually.
Lorelai, either Lorelai or Miriam Zima, one of the two is a sorcerer.
I think that Miriam probably feels more sorcery,
Maybe I don't know.
because Lorelai lives in like a study with like books.
That's
I'm
And
playing
she,
Lorelai, right?
experiments on
You're
things.
playing Lorelai.
Yeah.
I'm playing
I
Miriam
get to
Zima.
flirt. I get to
Dude, I'm going
weird.
to flirt so hard with you.
Oh, and you know I'm gonna return it too.
Because
don't worry, Drew. It's not gonna be too painful. It's gonna be like edgy, you know.
See, here's the thing. I think the more
Fighting
painful it is, the
with-
better, because I think Miriam
Oh,
would react
Miriam
the same
hates
way that I would react, in the sense of
Absolutely.
like, you two are both so cringe right now, and I hate you.
like
I'm absolutely wearing latex and a lab coat. That's just what I'm wearing. For some
Yeah,
reason,
like-
I have a stethoscope.
Lorelai and Miriam Azima are gonna both like roll up to the hells with Abinthy, and they're gonna be like, and Miriam is gonna be like, what are you wearing? We're fighting
this
Wisteria
is not
Vale.
practical at all.
And then
Abinthy's like,
Abinthy is gonna
"Hold
be
on.
like, actually, you know,
Let-
I kind of
well,
like it.
Let her cook. Hold
And
on.
then she's like, "Well, I just thought it fit the occasion," and looks over at Abinthy.
It fits something. Like, we're just gonna make out, and you're just gonna be there like, guys.
I can't, dude. Well, it's gonna be like, wait, you killed 15 men at once? And she's like amazed by it.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, that's not the worst I've done. And,
And
she's
then
like,
she's gonna be like, I've killed 35,
You know.
and he's like, God, that's hot.
it's like sick. And she's
I-
like, I once knew a guy
Aaron-
who killed like 100 men with a donkey jaw.
Yeah,
Aaron,
it was
I hope that that combat ends with Lorelai and Abinthy making out.
I really want to
Me
play
too.
a barbarian that at some point in time does kill a bunch of people with just the jaw of a donkey, and then you can just drop the with the jaw of an ass. I have made an ass out of you. And you're like, nah. You're just like,
What a
clunking
good
around. What a
line,
banger
bro.
line,
Oh
dude.
my gosh.
Samson for sure was a D&D character.
Oh, dude, all of the judges and prophets were D&D characters.
Honestly, yeah. Yeah.
Bible campaign season 2.
Dude,
just-
Loki. That would be kind of crazy.
We just
Check our
show up.
Patreon.
We just show up, and just all of a sudden we're just in like, you know, ancient Israel.
Yeah, dude. Could you imagine Patreon content is just
I
Dungeons
call
and
Nehemiah.
Dragons? Dude, Dungeons and Dragons, but
Dude,
like
I want to be
Bible
Moses.
stories.
What are you talking about?
You would.
Bro, straight up, could you imagine just like it's like let my people go, and then you just start a wizard fight?
Oh my goodness! I just now realized Moses is the biblical Gandalf.
Yeah, Moses. Well, Moses is a wizard
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, certainly.
Oh my
a wizard
goodness.
sorcerer or a wizard warlock because his patron is a burning bush. He
Yeah,
talked
actually,
to
that
a
would work.
mysterious burning bush and got a magic stick,
Ye-
and now
yeah.
can cast magic.
Yeah. Fair.
Yeah, and then you fight the magistrates, and they just start slinging spells at you. And then everyone else is playing like his sisters or whatever.
Well, yeah, and his brother Aaron's there.
Yeah. Which is going to get very confusing.
Yes.
Um,
Well, just as long as just as long as Aaron isn't playing Aaron.
yeah. Unless, well, actually, that would be the easiest way to make it make sense. Actually.
It would
Well,
be.
no, that's what I'm saying. Like, we need to make sure that Aaron is not playing Aaron. That way, it's maximum confusing.
Oh yeah, because yeah, if you just said Aaron, it was me. That wouldn't be any fun.
Yeah.
We are way off track, and
We are.
also we've been going for 2 hours and almost 30 minutes. It's 2 hours and 20.
Of course.
We're 10 minutes off.
This was my decision.
Do you guys have any other final touches that you guys would like to add to this?
I explained this before Grant got here, but Grant, I am very excited for next Monday purely because the two of us, honestly, are probably gonna have the easiest jobs of the whole night, because we just gonna sit back and eat popcorn and watch Aaron and DJ go at each other and try and play high-end chess match. So I'm
What
very
if it turns
excited.
out that
Excited.
I actually, the person that I end up making out with is not Miriam. It's not Lorelai. It's not even my wife.
It's Wisteria.
It's Wisteria Vale. That's how we defeat her.
Tomorrow
No.
would
This
be
is
A
what happens. This
charisma
is what
check.
happened. You go
A
go
Riz
in
check.
and you get like real close to her, and like there's this moment of desire, and then as you go in for the kiss, that's when you sink the blade into her stomach.
Yeah. I'm like, hey,
Abinthy. Yeah.
I'd say I'll see you in hell, but we're already here. And then I just like kick her into a pit.
Abinthy's just like, you cast spells or what you do? That was me. Rizzing Wisteria.
I did.
What those spells do?
He's like smiling. He's like, hey.
He does the really gross like eyebrow thing. He like slits him
Oh,
down. Yeah, he's like
Does a side smile where it's like,
100%.
I can't do it.
Yeah, he bites his lip.
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
jeez.
Yeah, so tune in Monday to see me rizz up one of the final bosses, and then I'm just gonna probably end the stream here. Is that chill? Do we have anything else that we want to talk
Yeah.
about?
That's chill. I mean, I just gotta point out that it's crazy that we're probably within 10 episodes of the end. You think?
Oh, easy.
Less than that.
Less than that,
DJ,
5
DJ
maybe
mentioned
even?
like 5, yeah.
I think 5 is pretty fair.
And I think that's including the trio shots.
Yeah.
That is going to be such a weird feeling. I've been thinking about that. Like the
Oh, yeah.
final episode, the stream ends. We're in the call and we're like, "Whoa,
It's
that
over.
was a 3-year-old campaign. It's done now." And also, it's going to be a crazy turning point because of how much will, step by step change in like how we do things.
Mhm.
And I think we're going to carry this campaign that we did farther, like in how we use what we've already done. And so I'm really excited for that, but it's also crazy to think that like after that episode things are going to be different for like ever.
Yeah.
Which is so
Yeah.
so weird. Not to be all existential here. It's just a weird feeling. It's a weird feeling.
It is. I've
exciting.
had that thought pretty much since we recorded our most recent episode. I've literally been thinking about the fact like, it's really weird to think about like in a little more than a month, campaign's gonna be over, and that's gonna be it. Basically 3 years of playing a game.
Oh, yeah.
and you know,
It's
And
certainly
we're never
weird.
gonna see each other again.
Yep.
never. Yep,
I'm
that's
gonna
right.
kill
Never gonna
Grant.
talk to each other.
Drew's gonna get eaten by a whale. It's rough out
And
here.
and DJ's gonna disappear into the mountains.
Yeah, DJ becomes a Yeti. We figured it out, everybody.
I'm still not convinced he's not the Yeti.
Well, I mean, he fully adopts it. He like abandons his mortal form to become the Yeti.
Oh,
so
I
he already
see.
is,
Yeah.
but he's like a werewolf right now.
He's a were Yeti.
Yeah, the Yeti.
His trips to the mountains is just because he can no longer hold back his primordial form.
That's right.
He's a lycanthready.
Yeah.
A lycanthrope, Grant. That's what you would call someone who's like lycanthropy means that they turn into a wolf. That's the disease that is turning into a werewolf.
Yeah,
it's called lycanthropy. Yeah,
They're lycanthrope.
they're lichens, and so a lycanthready would be that, but a Yeti.
Why the heck do they call fungus lichen?
No, it's Lycan, not Lichen. Very different spelling. Very important clarification. Also, lycanthready would still be incorrect because a lycanthrope can be anything that changes into a different animal. But
Palms are sweaty, lichen mom spaghetti.
It's a play on words, which is what the joke was. Thanks for listening to me rant about the joke. I don't have anything else that I want to touch on. Does anyone else have any final parting words?
Thank you for watching, everyone.
Thanks for having me on Table Scraps. It was my one time a year that I'm on, so I'll see you in 12 months.
You filled your quota. Grant,
Yes,
we
I
will
filled my
see
quota.
you on Mondays and never again
Grant
on
got
Thursday.
Grant's contract is way better than mine.
I know, right? You're
Yeah.
here like almost every week. It's terrible. But
Yeah.
trust me, I'm with you, Drew.
I'm getting paid more too than Drew.
Whoa, that's crazy. 0 times 5? Man, who could have
Yeah.
guessed? Your multiplier is insane. For everyone watching and was seeing this as a VOD, if you're here now, if you're just in our hearts, thank you for watching. The only thing I have left to say is the same thing I say every time. Good luck and Godspeed, everyone. We will see you next time, Dungeoneers. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye, everybody.